fix the sound.
I don't want to crowd down these.
Okay.
So the red one, what fall, is the red one, right?
Yeah.
Hold it down.
According to the invoice.
Huh?
You got to unfold it or no? So you have to unfold it or no?
You wanna make sure it don't move. So.
Black History Day, month and year, every day. 365.
WIFTBPM.
Ladies Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like May said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta
attack.
get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business, business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that one.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Wake up in the morning with the frown on my face, cause I know it's another day that I gotta face now. For people I don't wanna see, working at a job that I don't wanna be, breaking my back to the bone with nothing to show. But I got dreams and goals, but as soon as I clock in, I'm ready to go. So there's one thing I gotta know. Why money ain't free? Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? Give it to me. I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free?
Rocking in that 9 to 5, got your girl hella tired. Why won't they let me be? Now I understand why my mama always used to ask, did I think money grew on trees? I got these bills after bills and they just keep coming. Working overtime but my pockets ain't flooding. and yeah, my funds low. Adult life is ghetto.
Why money ain't free?
Why it ain't free?
Why can't you just give it
Why
to me?
can't they just give it to
I
me?
don't wanna work but nobody. I'd rather keep you with me.
Why money ain't free? Yeah.
Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep you with me. Why money ain't free?
How the money ain't free. Every 5 minutes, kids bothering me. They seem to think that money grows on trees. Always asking for allowance and clean one thing. Sick and tired of my funds being low. Spent the whole bag on the groceries at the store. Got a little something, but I need a little more. And I'm a single mama, you should already know.
Why money ain't free?
Why the money ain't free?
Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it
Won't
to
you
me?
give it to me?
I don't wanna work but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free?
Why the money ain't free?
Why money ain't free?
Why money ain't free? Yeah, why money
Now the skies could fall, not even if my boss should call. The world, it seems so very small, 'cause nothing even matters at all. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters at all. Nothing even matters. Nothing even
See, I don't need no alcohol. Your love makes me feel 10 feet tall. Without it, I go through withdrawal. 'Cause nothing even matters at all. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters.
These buildings can drift out to sea, a natural catastrophe, but there's no place I'd rather be, 'cause nothing even matters to me. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even
You're part of my identity. I sometimes have a tendency to look at you religiously. Yeah, 'cause nothing even matters to me.
Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. You won't find me at no store. I have no time for manicures. With you, it's never either or. 'Cause nothing even matters. Nothing even matters. Nothing even matters at all. Nothing even Nothing even matters.
Now my team could score and make it to the Final Four. Just repossess me 4x4. Yeah, 'cause nothing even matters no more.
Nothing even matters.
Nothing even matters, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
nothing but you. Boo.
WIFTBPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world. You are listening to
Ruthie Moore for Ty Stroger. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson, live in the building. I forgot to push some of my buttons, some of my graphics, getting it all together. This is the Maze Jackson Show, live in studio. Well, actually, we're not live in studio, y'all. We got to turn joints. Swill, please bring the remote controls. I got to turn the volume down, but we are doing our thing right here at Obsidian. We live in the building at Obsidian doing our thistle right here live in the building. Now, y'all know we are planning the last chance candidate debates today. And today, the 4th Ward gets it started. They get it popping. So if you are one of our lucky listeners, it might be the one over there. It's probably this one over here. So you're going to have to listen to the TV. You're going to have to listen to the sound inside the studio. But look, y'all, everybody is getting in the building. I think, is that Big John Austin behind me? I think I see Big John. I think I got Zaviola getting ready for the candidate debates. BP1 is all up in the building, y'all. It is. In case y'all are not ready, let me just let y'all see the stage. We are all prepared. DJ Riis, the ruler, getting ready for the debates in the building. But it is the Maze Jackson Show on this Monday, February 20th in the building. It just seems like, Riis, we just flying through in less than 8 days. It'll be the end of the month, and the next thing we'll be 1/3. We'll be finishing up the quarter. Election day right upon us. But Riis, we are in the building. So let me say what's up to my man. Oh, dag, Nebby, you should grab a mic, man. Hey, man, for real. That's how y'all. So just pick it up and just take the one from the middle, unslide it, and bring it on over. Man, see how the millennials will do you? They be like, all right, like I did it. Just slide it on. Just pull it over. It just goes under. They can fix that. Just slide it on over and pull it on over. Look, y'all, this is your man DJ Riis, the ruler in the building, trying to fix this thing, getting it together behind the scenes. You know how they just want to do it to you. They just want you to be the one. He just want me to be the one. That's like he the sound man, and then be like, you ain't got my mic set up. See how they do you? I can't come to work. I gotta come to work. I gotta set up the man mic. I gotta do the thing. These daggone millennials, I swear to goodness gracious. DJ Riis, the ruler.
Man, I didn't know if like you had it already set up for like the candidates or something. So you know how you come in, you be like, listen, man, I'm gonna leave it how it is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna touch nothing.
No, man.
It's good, man.
You in the building. All right, so DJ Riis, the ruler on the ones and twos. How you feeling today, man?
Blessed by the best. I didn't get too much rest. We was, I'm sure you understand it. We were short-staffed it all weekend. So it was like basically just me and my brother.
Trying to handle it?
It was, so we really didn't get out there until I think I had like probably 2.5, 3 hours of sleep. So, yeah. But I'm good, though. I'm good. It's looking nice in here.
All right, man. Yeah, see, we trying to do a little something up in here, man. We going to be ready for the people one of these days. Now, look, y'all, if y'all are tuned in and you are watching the Maze Jackson Show and you want to come in for the live debates, I think we got space for like 12. 15. So if you wanted the 15 people, I know Ryan said he was coming. I think I might have sent them the information a little bit later. Who phone is that? Who phone is that? Y'all gonna make me act up already. Now I'm in here trying to be all cool and wonderful, and y'all got the phones going off. Anyway, let me tell you, Riis, this is let me back up. Let me see if I can get this together real quick. All right, y'all, don't forget we have the last chance candidate debates coming up all week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday we're going to be trying to broadcast live. Riis, you like, hold on, how we going to broadcast live on Saturday? I think you like
in the morning?
Yep.
Oh, well, if it's in the morning, good. I don't work Saturday until that afternoon.
Okay, so, man, we get you coming on in on Saturday morning because we're going to get these last candidates. The 21st ward, we might have to be on the stage and let the candidates, they got like 17, 14, 15 candidates in that race.
Are they pledging?
Well, then if that's the case, they probably only end up with like 3 or 4.
Oh, no.
Depending on what.
It's
maybe
grand. You know what? Leave it alone.
Don't get me started on that. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. Riis, in just a little while, we are going to have the candidates for the 4th Ward aldermanic candidates coming in the building. So hopefully they'll all be here. I think we got everybody except for candidate Lamont Robinson. But look, we're going to be doing our thing today. So y'all make sure y'all get it cracking. Riis, you see your mayor? You see your girl, the mayor, doing her thing, man?
What she did now?
She done run around here told black people, if you ain't voting for me, don't vote.
I mean, it worked for Joe Biden.
Oh, see how y'all be doing, people. Joe, like, damn, what I got to do with this?
I'm just saying it.
Joe was minding his own business.
Then he say, if you that black, if you don't vote for me,
dang, she just take a page out of the Joe Biden book.
There you go.
All right, that's cool. All right, let me see what's up. Did you see? They said CTU is some of the members are mad because they said they done mortgaged their future for Brandon Johnson's campaign. So they taking money right now for they are right now, Riis, taking money for future dues. So they say, you know, you're gonna pay your dues in 10 years. We gonna bet that on Brandon now. That's kind of you know, like that's like mortgaging their future. Like that's like putting a phone bill in the kid's name. And the people are a little mad that they putting the phone bill in the kid's name. Hey man, if I'm Brandon, look, they like get it while you live it. Get it how what they say how you do. Get it how you live it.
Get down and lay down.
Whatever it is. Look, they better win. All I know is they better win, or else they're gonna be trying to run all the black people up out of CTU coming up. But shout out to Brandon Johnson, who is seeming to be surging. Speaking of surgeon, Chewy Garcia is Riis, he falling off, man. They done, you know what?
Yeah,
you know,
sliding.
You know that. Remember in Color Purple when it was like, won't no, what she say? Won't nothing good happen to you until you do right by me.
Do right by me.
Remember last week when they was all talking crazy on Twitter? Oh, what a difference! Now they talking about they quit. They trying to do the Willie Wilson. They said, I can't believe, never in my life would I have ever believed that a Latino man would be being criticized for his accent. I was like, oh, y'all want to do the Willie Wilson. So the Latinxs are now criticizing the Latinos or the Hispanics for being too Hispanic.
But it's cool that Willie Wilson, you know, like, we mad about the way that he talked on.
No, I'm saying they doing the same thing. You damn millennials. College-educated Negroes. Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter might be the most unpopular president ever. Because when Jimmy Carter, I remember when Jimmy Carter was running, they ran him up out of the joint. They was like, he got to go. But then after he wasn't president, he became beloved by everybody. He is in hospice. Which
how it is. Usually how it is after they love you.
They appreciate. Right, like how y'all like George Bush now.
I don't know who likes George.
Yeah, Michelle Obama clearly. You know how you got.
Well, you know how you hang around. It's like, you know, they like presidents, so you know how you hang around. You know, my husband was a president, you're a president, so you know you might see me around you, but you know I gotta like you. It's kind of, you know, in a small group.
Okay, I can see that. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, let me just tell y'all what. I don't even know his name. I refuse to learn it. But this is what I gotta tell you. I am not trying to hit y'all running around here talking about no white slam dunk championship.
Well, boy.
No.
Nick, I don't know what it is.
See, nope. What's his name? I don't even know. Matt McClung? No, sir. No, sir.
Did y'all wrong?
No, sir.
In Black History Month against the 3 black people, did you wrong?
I'm offended. I'm just completely outdone by this whole concept of a white slam dunk champion. And I want to let y'all know that while all the NBA, you know, while Kevin Durant and Kyrie and everybody trading and acting up. Did you see halftime yesterday? They had the African.
No, yeah.
Then they did that whole thing about NBA Africa. We are coming. Look, Joe. They like, look, man. You mean to tell me I can get me what's old boy name? Siam Sapat Sakasuga. You see?
Patrick Siaka.
See, hey man, when I seen him, I was like, this is gonna be a problem.
Giannis? They from there too?
Nigeria.
No, you're right.
They from Greece.
He from Greece.
But Riis, see how they did the league for Europe? Now they doing y'all want
Euro League. You're
now,
right.
Now they got Africa League, and then they start bringing. Now the European players are the better player, or not the better players, but the players.
Yeah, everybody want to be like right? They shooting like them. All the big men.
Big men can shoot 3. Yeah. So look, what you think they gonna do when they go to Africa, Joe?
They gonna.
You gonna look, Kevin? Y'all bet
above the rim.
Man, bro.
That movie Is that what it is, above the rim? What a white guy go to Africa, find that ball player. Is it above the rim? Or the air up there. The air up there is what it is. You know, seen that movie?
But that's like Manute Bol. Like, here's my thing. They are now going. All y'all be talking smack. Like, we think it's more entertaining that we get traded. Not the owners. The owners like, hold on. So you have these dudes been. You ever seen a Kenyan run for like the marathons? How they always win?
They sell out the next day. They be like, "Up, you traded." We sell out the next day.
Hey Joe, I'm just telling you. Let me just tell you. They building the African League, so they could be like, we can get us a 6'9", we can have all 6'9" big men who can shoot, dribble, and they will be playing for food.
Oh no, well, you know what, man? They really they don't need much. So like,
right.
So they take and then they send all their money overseas.
Exactly.
And build an empire, and then when they get done, they retire and go right back home to living in this.
You mad with $80 million a year? You mad with $24 million a year, Negro?
Not at all.
And look, and they gonna do $1 million to make it work.
Yeah,
just telling you. So I just told you, y'all watch NBA Africa is coming up. All right, let me see what else we got. Riis this weekend, Holy Trinity. HT, baby.
They did it.
Shout out to the fellas. They did it, and they did it big. We got to play Latin on Wednesday. But let me tell you, we did it real big on Saturday. Shout out to MJ. Dead-Eye Jackson. Then Matt came in.
He dropped 50?
Nah, he ain't dropped 50. I think he dropped like 13.
Okay, that's well. You know what?
I think he dropped 13.
He be around that look, so that's cool. That's cool.
Right. They scored like 50. They might have scored 60. Hey, Erica, do me a solid because it's driving me nuts. Fix this thing that Riis messed up for me. Y'all, if y'all see in the background, that's Sister Erica. It is messed up.
Walk in.
Nah,
yeah.
I just want I like to be promotion ready. Y'all hear that back in the background? That's Sister Erica putting it all together. You know, we got the whole squad on the other side. They back there planning. You see Zaviola, she's sitting right behind me. I'm a deck to the side. You can see it. She got her bun on. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Let me see what else I got on my stories. So Riis, Holy Trinity, shout out to they playing like they spreading it out a lot more, right? It's like it's being Dylan done turned into the big man in the middle. Man, he be playing these 6'5", but he could jump out the gym, dog. He could jump out the gym. Then you got Matt. I don't know what happened to Matt this weekend. He got there a little late, man. So we had to, but it was a good he came in and he came in and took over the scoring lead in the last quarter, right? Like, whack. He just was lofting them up. Whack, whack. Bobby doing this thing. I'm telling you, then the sophomores and juniors, they like, give us out, you know.
I tell them if they ever finna lose, just tell them drop 50 for me, man.
Drop 50. Just shoot it out. Lights out. Whack, whack, whack.
But no, that's good, man. That's good, the youngest. And then to actually see this, and then I know you said that he was actually pursuing a collegiate, career. So that's good. That's good to see him ending off this stage like that and then heading into his next stage. So
I'm excited. Oh, that ain't it. We're gonna have to come back.
Oh man, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go see some college games real soon. Man.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go see. Man, I'm excited for him.
Thrown out of none, are you?
Huh?
You ain't gonna get thrown out of none, are you?
Man, Joe. Man, somebody took my title last week. I was chilling, and then it all turned into something else. All right, let me see what else I got. Also, I went to let me back up. I went to Black Creativity this weekend. Shout out to everybody who went to the Black Creativity at the Museum of Science and Industry. It was the Black Who's Who. The one thing I just be thinking about is black people, I don't want to wear tux and be carrying my plate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how like you be all dressed up and then they got you, but then it's like samplers. So you going around. I just don't want to be carrying no, like if I got on a tux, family, serve me. Bring me mine.
Nah, they gotta walk around holding the thing. You just take it up there.
Man, I'd be like, I'll take 4 of them. Give me that. Did you say lamb chops? Come back here. Come in. Stop the tray right here. Like we be giving people in the corner, be like, you ain't getting out of here with none of that. Let me see what else we got. Oh, and then I went to the Park Supper Club yesterday.
What's that?
Right up on 55th, right here, Tory Barrett's joint. Had a great time. Got to hang out with the guys from the crib. It was me, Twin, Antoine.
Twin doing good.
man,
right.
we gotta stay on top of him. You know what I'm saying? And his brother Jemani, we gonna let you. I'm gonna have to go help you with that. I'm gonna help you with that in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's okay though. It's okay. Look, but it was good, man. Then hey man, I didn't realize Park Supper Club was so. It was like a nice little vibe up in there. They got a little brunch. Not a little. Let me stop saying a little brunch. They got a good brunch. Man, great drinks, great service. I had a really good time. It's a little bit more fun than I expected. Had a good time. I spent a little bit longer time, so I wound up being here a little later than I anticipated last night. But
you got here last night?
Huh?
You got here last night?
Yeah, I came here I was like, man, I'm not gonna be up in here at 5 o'clock in the morning. You see, like last time we were scrambling, I feel like we pretty close to in the where I want to be for the broadcast. You know what I'm saying? So you just come on in, they get in here, they sit their butt down. When it's time, you'll flip the mic and we'll get it going. Let me see what else we got going on right here. You know what? I'll talk a little bit more about what's happening in the mayor's race, as well as don't let you all forget we are live at Obsidian Social Club right now, preparing for the last chance candidate debate. Today we are doing the 4th ward, so I think we got a bunch of candidates coming in the building. We'll be talking to them very shortly. Look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. When we come back, we'll do our birthdays. Plus, we got to say what's up to my man. Plus then we'll say what's up to everybody.
Plane.
Oh, dang, you're right. Look, y'all. How many people we got on the plane? It's a lot of people. We gonna take off.
Yeah.
We gotta land again at about 7 o'clock.
Hey, do we charge for our bags on our plane?
Look, we should charge we charge for bags, coffee, donuts, the whole you did.
Hey, but look, you can come through though. We only check for guns.
Oh yeah, we checking for guns. We are checking for guns. But if you all are out and about and you want to come check us out, we are at 54th and Wabash. Y'all in the back of the lot. Getting ready for the 4th ward candidate debates. All right, y'all, it's the last chance debates. We'll be back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Over 25 years ago, Patrick Brutus decided that serving the public was the best way to help his community. And since then, he has been a dependable and trustworthy friend to all. Now, by fighting for safe and walkable streets, new businesses, and retail corridors, Patrick Brutus has the right vision and the most experience to lead the 6th Ward. On Election Day, punch 53 for Patrick Brutus, because he's our choice for alderman of the 6th Ward.
With a long-time 34th Ward turning into the 21st Ward, there's only one clear choice for your next alderman of the 21st Ward, Cornell Dantzler. If you live in the 34th Ward, which is now the 21st Ward, vote for Cornell Dantzler in the upcoming election to represent your ward as alderman.
We will work together as a family and as a team so that we can make the 21st Ward one of the best wards in the city of Chicago. Thank you.
Punch 51 for Cornell Dantzler.
We can count on Paul Vallis. When Paul Vallis was CEO of Chicago Public Schools, he revitalized our neighborhood schools. No one delivered more for our underserved young people than Paul Vallis. As mayor, Paul Vallis will ensure that communities long neglected get a fair share of city investment, attracting the grocery stores we need, improving sanitation, and other city services in our neighborhoods. Vote Paul Vallis, a mayor for all of us. Paid for by Vallis for Mayor.
Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago. The violence in Chicago must stop. Willie Wilson pledges real action to do that. A revised police structure, 4 superintendents, more accessible to their neighborhoods, providing faster communication and concentration of resources. Willie Wilson pledges more integrated police patrols to increase community, confidence, and cooperation. Willie Wilson's pledge will make Chicago safer. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor.
Now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please.
Good. Good morning. Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:42 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports traffic and weather update. As we head over to Sports All-Star Weekend, Team Giannis taking on Team LeBron. As Jason Tatum will score 55 and set a new record in the All-Star game, as Team Giannis would beat Team LeBron. Let's head over to the Kennedy now. All head to the loop will be 20 minutes. Outbound will be 18. On the Edens, both directions will be locked in at 28 minutes, while the Eisenhower is locked in at 27. The Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan and back will be 28 minutes, while the Bishop Ford from I-80 to the Dan Ryan will be 30. Outbound will be 28 as well. The Dan Ryan, 17 minutes to the loop, 12 minutes to 95th, while DuSable Drive is locked in all around at 8 minutes. Today's weather, it is currently 31 and partly cloudy. Today will be a high of 46 with a low of 31. I'm Riis the Ruler. It's Monday. Welcome back to the Mays Jackson Show.
To the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos, y'all. And it is about 6:44, so you know what we do right after 6:30. We got to say what's up to everybody from WBGX, 1570 AM. That's right, 1570 AM. Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. You can catch us every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 a.m. Now, you can do like Big John Austin. Well, wait a minute. Maybe not today, because Big John Austin is live in the studio. So you got to do like Sister Zakia and check us out on the TuneIn app. And then about 8 o'clock, you join us with everybody else who tunes in from 6 to 9 on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's right. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler, in the building. Now, Riis, you know how we do every day right around this time. Look, man, we got our little flow going. It's going just like, I feel like we might be all right up in here today. Now, let me tell you, every day right around this time, we have started a new tradition where we try to say happy birthday. Happy birthday to everybody that's tuned in out there. So let me start with a happy birthday to our very own Harold E.K. Williams. Shout out to, Harold. Harold to call in. He done called us from Afghanistan. He done called us from the West Side. You know what I'm saying? He is out there representing very hard for Beatrice Boyce, who is running the 24th Ward. Now, we're supposed to be talking to people from the 24th Ward on Friday, so don't miss that candidate debate. Shout out to Tim Elliott. We go all the way back to grammar school. Terrence James, Miss Hope, Bradley Thomas, Frederick Collins. Fred was running for mayor, but I guess he got bumped off the ballot. T. Renee, Sundiata M. Heppy, Jesse K., Allie Ellison Zimsoff, Ben Winnick, Kevin Hall, Natay Thompson. Look, y'all, we wish y'all a happy birthday. So let me say it one more time for you. From everybody from the Mays Jackson Show, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hey, y'all, it's the happy birthday song. You know, I had to do the remix. All right, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. Now, you know what? Riis, we got to do a lot of stuff in this little transition. So let me start real quick. I won't even get to it. Look, y'all know right around 6:30 we try to do, we asked this question. So, Riis, why don't you go ahead, hit the button. You ain't ready. Okay, so hold on. We're going to get ready, y'all, because it's been a lot going on this weekend. I don't know if any of y'all been outside checking out any of the debates or any of the forums or any of the rallies. I know Lori K. Westerfield been to the rallies because she was going live and everything. But, Riis, it got me. I saw the mayor this week, and it got me. Did you hear about the mayor? All right, well, I'm going to show you in a minute. But let me do this. Let me start by saying, Riis, hit the button for me.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Is it wrong for the mayor to discourage, if you're not voting for her, to discourage black people from voting? Now, I thought that the big thing was that we had a right to choose and all of that good stuff. But, Riis, this weekend, the mayor was out on the campaign trail telling people. Matter of fact, let me do this. Let me go. You got the audio? Let me see if I can get the audio together, and we're going to flip it on. And you check out the mayor this weekend. You ready? All right, here we go. Uh-oh. Go on to Twitter.
My name Lightfoot is a vote for Chuy Garcia or Paul Vallis.
Hold on, let's start over.
On the side. For somebody not named Lightfoot is a vote for Chuy Garcia or Paul Vallis. If you want them controlling your fate and your destiny, then stay home. Then don't vote. But we've got to do better, right? We have them coming on the side. For somebody not named Lightfoot is a vote for Chuy Garcia or Paul Vallis. If you want them controlling your fate and your destiny, then stay home. Then don't vote. But we've got to do better.
All right, did you hear that, Riis?
If you're going to vote for them, stay home. We don't need that.
Riis!
She don't want that toxic energy, man.
Riis!
She don't want the toxic energy.
Okay. All right.
All right.
She is the toxic energy. What? Okay. Look, y'all. No, okay, come on.
Take your vote right away.
Come on, man. Come on. So dig this. Now, I can dig the mayor saying that a vote for a vote for someone else is a vote for Chuy Garcia. Like, that's getting right up close to the line. That's close to the line, but I could see you saying that. Riis, as much as we tell people to exercise their right to vote, the mayor of the city of Chicago says to the people, if you ain't voting for me, don't vote. Riis, what?
She said a vote for them. Who's them? What she mean by that? She said a vote for them.
See, but that, oh my goodness.
If you want
want
them, leading your people. You ain't hear that, did you? If you want them lead, what you mean by that, man?
Riis, you may be on to, hold on, let's break that down one more second. Hold on, ready? I'm going to come back to my audio.
Or Paul Vallis. If you want them controlling your fate and your destiny, then stay home. Then don't vote. But we've got to do better, right? We have them coming on the side. For somebody not named Lightfoot is a vote for Chuy Garcia or Paul Vallis. If you want them controlling your fate and your destiny, then stay home.
Wait a minute. Haven't I said this?
If you want them controlling your destiny, that's what I said that you hear.
Oh, Riis, you gotta you can take this back.
The man code.
You gotta get the phones working, man. You gotta get the phone lines working. Cause let me give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Is the mayor wrong for telling people if they don't vote for her that she ain't a vote? What you need?
I need a charger first.
Okay, it's not charged up? I thought I had a charge.
It's like weird. It's going. like you got to call first. Like if I call now, it's gonna die. It's so weird. So I'm used to it.
All right, so give us a call, 87. Well, give us a minute. Reese got to get a call. Somebody get Reese an iPhone charger, please. You stay still. We got one somewhere over here. Well, if you hand me my bag, it's one over here in this bag. But look, y'all, I think the mayor was wrong. Now, why would y'all, who was the contact? Who was your contact, Ebony? Hello?
Hey, this is Ebony. I can't find you.
Okay, so it's all the way at the end of the parking lot. But you know I'm live on air, so you people are outside. So why don't you go out? Somebody outside and let us at the very back parking lot, the very, very back of the shopping mall parking lot. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Reese, I'm telling you, man.
Sounded very familiar, man. If you want them controlling what?
Who is the them? Who is the they?
Controlling your destiny.
Regina, call Ebony Lucas too, please. All right, y'all. So Reese, I don't know, man. I think that's kind of bogus for the mayor to be telling people, one, not vote. But then the theys and the thems, you right with the theys and the thems, man. The who is they and them. Now, when I said that, I was being divisive. Do you think the mayor is now at the point where she is desperate? Like, I mean, because she been eating corn. She showed up to the You Dig this weekend. Erica, she had on a dress. The mayor had on a dress.
She's a lady. Come on, man.
Reese, she had on a shimmery dress. I think she had on boots, though. Huh? I'm just telling you, we're going to have to get the, somebody took a picture. Because the mayor was at Black Creativity. She everywhere right now. She eating cornbread, collard greens. She is the black. You know, like, what was that movie? What was, remember on CB4?
Is she in church yet? Because
what church she going to? Oh, well, she been to church.
Yeah, see, that's it right there.
You know what? We should play the video from her at Lori's church that time when she was on the church thing with Lori. But look, y'all, do y'all think the mayor is wrong? Is she bogus for telling people? Is the mayor bogus for telling people not to vote if they don't vote for her? I think that's I think that's terrible. The mayor is saying, all right, so the phone lines are open. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I got to ask you, man. I think that's kind of bogus, man. I think it's bogus for the mayor to say, people have died for the right to vote, and she talking about if you don't vote for me, then don't vote.
Yeah, you got to.
And she did use a lot of days in them.
Yeah, and controlling your destiny. So, she try to, that's a play on the black people right there. If you want them controlling your destiny, then, but I see the man. I see it.
I think it's kind of shady, though, dog.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of shady for her to act that way. Now, look, y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's the last chance candidate debates coming up at 7 o'clock. Now, if you here late, I'm going to be asking all the questions, and you're going to miss all your They trying to get here late, Reese. That's what they trying to do, because they don't want to know the answer. I see Ebony Lucas in the building already, so she doing her thing. Don't make me. All right.
Just one here.
It's just one. Look, you be like, I got and now my platform on.
Hey, you just got to, it's okay if it's just one here. Then you know that one person really cares about the black agenda, so they came here to make sure that their voice is being heard in the fourth word. So
this is the last chance, man. Ain't no candidate forums now, man. This is it. This the last chance. We are getting the stage ready.
You got to think about who gonna wake up. If they gonna wake up now, then they'll do something when they're in office. Then if you can't wake up and talk to the people.
Look at Reese hitting you with the shade. Look at Reese with the low key shade in the building. All right, y'all. Now I'm gonna tell you, this is the fourth ward candidate debate is coming up, but I still want to know, man. Erica, you think the mayor was wrong for telling people don't vote if? She made what happened to Eyes? Did she not see Eyes on the Prize? A Freudian slip. Now you know about the mayor and her Freudian slips. I think. Let me stop. I ain't gonna even go there. She had a slip on. Do you think she had a slip on with her dress? Do people still wear slips? They do. I don't know if they still do. They still wear slips?
Yeah, you born anything past like 85, after that, ain't nobody wearing no slips no more.
They don't wear a slip?
And ain't nobody that's born in 2000 wearing a slip.
Really? Look, John said, hey, man, when I was a kid, the slip was like that was like, da-da-da-da. You was like, what? All right, y'all. So I think your mayor, Riis, that's kind of crazy that the mayor told people that if you do not vote for me, then don't vote. That's crazy. People die for the right to vote. And should you, like, now, I'm the king of black voters and black people sticking together, but how come what if we stick together behind somebody besides you? And is she discouraging all the young people who might be out there looking for the opportunity to vote? That's kind of crazy.
That right there, so like that's what I think. So you discouraging people.
That's what I was thinking
exercise. Too. So then people like, look, our own mayor said, we don't even have to vote if we ain't voting for her. So why should I vote? It doesn't even matter if the mayor doesn't care if I vote. So it definitely looks bad.
Y'all just want an excuse not to vote, but she gave it to him. She certainly gave it to him. She like, look, she don't even believe in it. Look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. Riis, well, it seems like it's almost time for the last chance candidate debates. So this is what I think we're going to do. I think it's time for us. It's 6:58. Let's take a quick break. What I'm going to do is try and get the studio together, and we're going to get ready to arrange our candidates as we prepare for the last chance debates. You're going to have to switch your mic up and give it to the peoples, but we're going to get it together. So look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. Is that Big John Austin I see in the back? Zaviola. They having a party on the other side too, ain't they? Huh? I can't hear them at all, so it's good. Oh no, it's good. So is anybody over there? Okay, so they make them come in and fill this up. Let's get the studio. Tell people start coming on in. We can get them some action so they can start seeing the fill up. Riis, you ready? All right, look, y'all. Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we are about to get ready for the the last chance candidate debates. They say people are over on the other side. So I think I'm going to keep the cameras a little live, and we're going to get a little set up, and then we're going to get this thing going. All right, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. I see Regina back there peeking around the corner. All right, let's get it going. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Mace Jackson.
Tune in to the Mace Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Mace Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Mace said. We out of here. Peace.
My name is Chris Levy, and I'm working hard to become your next 5th Ward Alderman. As a lifelong Chicagoan, I chose the historic 5th Ward as my home and a place to raise my family. This means I have a vested interest in our safety and prosperity. But we need a change, and I'm the best candidate for the job. I'm not a career politician, but a motivated citizen who cares and will do whatever it takes to restore our community to greatness. My name is Chris Levy, and I want to drive change. Please punch 60 and vote for me for 5th Ward Alderman. My name is Chris Levy, and I approve this message.
Why not Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago? The criminals won't like Willie Wilson in the mayor's office. Fighting crime is Willie Wilson's first priority. Willie Wilson is ready to take on the criminals. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor.
Yeah, man. Ideas, man. Ideas.
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. And it's so clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. And it's so clear to see that you wanna be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. Understand clearly way. That you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within. Is the trust still beginning? Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see you wondering mind. Is it me considered? Is you that's with it? See, you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee, and it's so clear to see, baby, that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee, and it's so clear to see, that you wanna be free. Yeah. I'm just trying to be the best I can. You can call me the troubling man. Matter of fact, I'm from the side of the street. Baby girl, you're calling on me. At the time that I feel your presence around me, it's something that I can't let go. It's your time, everything around me there. I just wanna hold on, but you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. I just wanna come correct best I can. Baby, get your foot on my neck. And just before you just leave, baby, I've been trying to tell you I can't breathe. You don't have to find me, baby, walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you want me free. Damn pressure, baby. I just want
A lot of thoughts in my mind, gotta designate what to leave, what to take, and appreciate. A lot of people talk fly, but I levitate. Rise above with the love when I meditate. When I meditate. I roll with God cause he never late. My sundial and denial up in Ben Franks. On the road, let's travel with a full tank. Revolutionary overture, that's too saint. I mean, that's too son. I mean, that's two saints. Like Peter, Paul, me, and you could be the new saints. Let me paint a new picture on the 16. Woolly haired black man with divine genes. Yeah, I be rapping, but these 16's art. Cathartic, therapeutic, really who needs charts? All I need is heart, God's love, and some knowledge. Acknowledge, don't acknowledge, I be good, to be honest. It's like, if you never knew my name, at least I know me. Broken chains on my brain, now I'm set free. At peace in the now, I'm complete. Cause all I ever had to do is just be. Just be. Lot of thoughts in my mind, gotta designate what to leave, what to take, and appreciate. A lot of people talk fly, but I levitate. Rise above with the love when I meditate.
to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Mays and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve wrong.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler in the building. And y'all, it is the last chance candidate debates. I told y'all we was going to pull it. We was going to pull it together. Now, let me give a big shout out to all of the people that are making this thing possible today. First of all, I got to say big shout out to What's in It for the Black People Media. Hey, that's us. I guess that's me and you, Riis. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ty, shout out to Ruthie, shout out to the whole What's in It for the Black People Media family. Gotta say what's up to my What's in It for the Black People and BP1 Black People First Party family as well, who is in here in the building putting it together. We decided that there is a voters guide that's coming out, but typically we do our thing and we wanted to have some candidate forums, and we've been noticing that there have been a lot of candidate forums put on in our community, and sometimes they don't get to the questions that black people want to have answered the most. And so what we decided to do is open up the doors this as a last chance opportunity for some of the races, particularly the races that are uncontested, that are going to be open seats. So you might get an opportunity to listen, hear a little bit more from the candidates. So check this out. We have in the 4th Ward, we have, I think there's 6 candidates in the race in the 4th Ward, 4 of who have chosen to show up with us this morning. So we want to give them an opportunity to talk a little bit, tell us a little bit about themselves, get some answers to some questions. And I'm just telling y'all now, some of these questions where y'all got the special, extra political, special sauce on them, we going to ask for yes and no's, right? You got to start with a yes or no because one of the challenges that we've seen is that everybody's got the dance down, right? But everybody got the dance down, but don't everybody, some of the questions that we need answered out here. I would be remiss if I didn't say what's up to all of the people. Shout out to my girl, Regina Gibson, who has reached out to everybody. I told her we wanted to do it. She got on the phone. She got everybody together. I got to say what's up to my whole BP1 family that's here. Now, where my timekeeper at? She running around here, moving around. Y'all know Zaviola. She is also the executive secretary of What's in It for the Black People First. So she's going to be the timekeeper. Now, look, some of these questions are a little bit longer than 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a timer. There'll be a basic timer, but if the audience or if we feel like we'd like you to expound upon the answer more, then we will do that. Let me do this. I think, do I have everybody else in the building? Everybody's in the building. Shout out to Andre Smith, candidate for Alderman in the 20th Ward. Got to say what's up to Tyrone Muhammad, Mr. ECCSC. Look, man, we got everybody up in this building. And shout out to Big John Austin in the back of the building. You know what I'm saying? John is usually on his tune-in app. But look, y'all, we got the candidates all in the building, so I'm going to turn the camera to them right now. Now, look, y'all. Y'all know y'all in the Lion's Den, right? This is the Lion's Den, so this is the place where we ask the questions. But what we're going to do is we're going to first go across the stage, and we are going to go in alphabetical order to start. And we are going to ask each one of you for 1 minute to tell us who you are, why you are running for alderman of the 4th Ward. We will. We have another candidate. Okay, so we will bring another candidate, but in the meantime, we will get started with you, Miss Tracy Bay. Tracy Bay, welcome to the Mays Jackson Show, candidate for alderman. Talk to us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for having us in the Lion's Den and What's in It for the Black People Media and everyone in attendance this early morning, Mays. Thank you. We really appreciate this. We do. I am Tracy Bay, and a vote for me is a vote for your voice. I'm a fierce advocate for the voice of the community to be heard. I'm a fierce advocate for grassroots advocacy to be at the table of change. And I'm a fierce advocate for inclusion. I wear many hats in the 4th Ward, from economic development. I sit on the council for the Riis Bronzeville Lakefront site. I am a part of the team bringing the much promised housing back to the Ida B. Wells land through my finishes business. I also do violence prevention in the ward as being the director of operations for ECCSC. And because of these things, you'll understand why I'm a fierce advocate for ownership. And what that looks like is having equitable access to health care, schools, and housing, and, youth engagement, comprehensive public safety. I am running because...
You got to put a period on it. So, look, I'm going to ask you to complete your sentence. If you hear the timer go off, please complete your sentence and then come back, all right? That is Tracy Bay. Next up, Mr. Prentice Butler. Prentice, welcome to the Mays Jackson Show and to the candidate's last chance. How you doing? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Good morning, Mays. Thank you for having us here this morning. My name is Prentice Butler, and many of you have known me over the years working for different aldermen in the 4th Ward, whether it was Will Burns back in the day, and now Sophia King. I want to share a little bit about myself. My whole life has centered around the 4th Ward. Born in Migrant Hospital, attended Harold Franciscan High School, graduated in 98, went to ULC and worked under Michelle Obama in the Community Service Center back in those days. I've been in Brownsville for the last 15 years. During that time, I've been involved in organizations such as 100 Black Men in Chicago, Alpha Alpha Fraternity, and other civically inclined organizations. In the last 12 years, I've worked as the Director of Policy and Communications, Director of Constituent Services, and also Chief of Staff Alderman Sophia King. And during those 12 years, I've worked with community stakeholders to bring impactful public policy and advocate for resources in our community that we desperately need. And I want to make sure that those people that live in Brownsville are able to benefit from the resurgence in our community. So I'm advocating for equitable development, public safety, and schools in our community.
Thank you. Next up, Mr. Matthew Kahari Humphreys. Welcome to the Mays Jackson Show. Please tell us about yourself.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Kahari Humphreys. I have been a resident of the 4th Ward for over 30 years, public servant, unifier, and active neighbor. I've worked in public service, not-for-profit, for 25 years. The last 3 years, I've most recently was a senior director at the City of Chicago, ushering in $65 million for youth employment and the violence prevention. Before that, 10 years in community development and mixed-income housing, working with the company that brought the Ellis Park Art and Recreation Center, redeveloping Ida B. Wells area, redeveloping Ickes area, brought the Shops and Lofts area on 47th and Cottage that has Walmart. Before that, spent 12 years in youth development, including putting a Boys and Girls Club in Holy Angels. Also active neighbor on block clubs, neighborhood associations, the 2nd District Advisory Council, 4th Ward Advisory Council.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. We will now introduce Miss Ebony Lucas. Ebony, thank you for joining us, and please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having us here. Am I?
Bring the mic to you.
Okay.
All right, and talk directly into it.
I'm Ebony Lucas, and I am an attorney, and a mom and a community organizer. And I've been very active throughout the Fourth Ward, serving on the Mandrake Park Advisory Council and the King Local School Council, and planning events for youth, helping to close problematic liquor stores in the community. I am running because we need a representative who is unbought and unbossed. We can't afford to have an alderperson who is not very laser focused on our local issues that are costing us our money and our safety. We need an alderperson who will welcome residents to have a seat at the table and when decisions are made about our community. Because if you're not at the table, we're on the menu. Fourth Ward residents need and deserve an alderman who's committed, courageous, and collaborative. This is my third time running for Fourth Ward alderman. The last time I ran, I got almost 40% of the vote, and I've remained committed to this community. We don't need a silent partner. We are not stepping stones on a political journey or pawns for political agendas.
Thank you.
We are real people, and we deserve representation.
Thank you. Next up, Miss Helen West. Welcome to the Mays Jackson Show. Why are you running for alderman in the Fourth Ward?
Yes. Good morning, Mays.
Pull it closer to you. There you go.
Good morning, Mays, and thank you for having us here. My name is Dr. Helen West. I am a lifetime resident of Chicago and a 27-year resident of the Bronzeville community, or the Fourth Ward, I should say. I am running for alderman because I do believe that I am the best candidate for this position. I believe the Fourth Ward needs leadership that has a known track record for leadership. I have over 25 years experience, not only in the corporate leadership arena, but also I have many years experience as an educator. I have 2 master's degrees, one in educational leadership and also one in educational technology, as well as a doctorate in educational leadership. Leadership is what our community needs.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to come back and we're going to start from this end this time, all right? Dr. West, right now we would like to know from matter of fact, from everybody here, yes or no is the answer to the question. Do you agree with giving undocumented, illegal, and migrants the right to vote in municipal elections? Please answer yes or no.
No.
Ebony Lucas?
No.
Mr. Humphreys?
Yes.
No.
Tracy? No. All right. On that note, please tell me, we're going to come back from you. Tracy, right now we have the migrant crisis is one of the biggest issues that is happening in the city of Chicago. Would you support a migrant shelter being brought to the Fourth Ward? And if so, or if not, what is your plan for the migrants that would come to your ward?
Mays, everybody deserves to have housing and care and concern on the streets that they're on. We have homeless people in the Fourth Ward, homeless camps that we're not dealing with and addressing first. We have issues in the city first that need to be dealt with. We have ex-cons that return home to no housing. We have people that we should be dealing with first before we look to help and aid and assist others that come to our city just because they're sent here. We have people that we need to be dealing with their needs, their mental health needs, their economic needs, and fulfilling those first. And we need to deal with that first in the Fourth Ward before.
Thank you. You can finish your sentence. Were you done?
I can be.
Okay. Prentice, we'll come to you. Would you support a shelter coming to the Fourth Ward? And how do you plan on dealing with the migrant crisis in the city of Chicago as an alderman?
Mays, there already existed shelter in the Fourth Ward, but the way it came about was something that, first of all, was not correct. It wasn't a collaborative effort. The administration, meaning Mayor Lightfoot's administration, did not speak to the community about our needs and whether or not we'll be in support. There's nothing wrong about having a shelter for migrants. We also want to make sure we have a plan for how do we support people already living in our community with their housing issues that they already have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Humphreys, would you support a migrant shelter coming to the Fourth Ward, and how would you deal with the migrant crisis in Chicago? Who's got their phone on? I'm going to ask you to turn it off. Please and thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Humphreys.
So definitely would prioritize the housing needs, the education needs, specifically of residents in the Fourth Ward. It seems like we prioritize those other than the ones that most need it. When we're in some cases, we have parts of our ward that are really the whole tell of two cities. We see people that are experiencing poverty, homelessness in a way in the Fourth Ward that needs to be addressed first. Now, in terms of across the city, I would work with other older people to find and identify places that makes the most sense, and that residents are welcoming and want shelters for migrants. But specifically for the Fourth Ward, I would prioritize one, affordable housing, world-class schools. And I would definitely work specifically to hear from the residents first, because I think we can't bring anything to a community without the leadership and voice of residents first.
Okay, thank you. Ebony?
I think the housing of the migrants is not an either or, it's a both and. So we have closed schools that our tax-paying dollars have paid to heat and maintain over the last years. Those can be used as shelters for people who need housing, but we need to prioritize our unhoused population. We need to prioritize our veterans. We need to prioritize our recently incarcerated that have been released. So we have to prioritize and give first option to the people who need it. And those centers should also be used for mental health services, for education, other wraparound services, so that we can help people to transition from temporary to permanent housing.
Okay. Dr. West?
I also believe that having shelter is a human right for everyone. As far as sheltering for the immigrant population, I do think it is important that we first take care of our own. We do have a homeless population that in many cases, we find them in tents and it's cold outside. I don't think that we need to prioritize specifically housing for immigrants when we haven't taken care of our own citizens here right here in Chicago. So I would support it because, like I said, I think housing is a human right. We all deserve to have a roof over our heads, but we do need to take care of the people right here in our home cities who have been here prior to this immigrant crisis.
Okay. We're going to start with you, Ebony, because we're going to come back this way, and then Dr. West will finish with you. What does economic development in the ward mean to you, and what would you do to initiate additional economic development in the ward?
We have commercial corridors from 31st Street to 47th Street that are underdeveloped. So economic development means building up those commercial corridors, bringing businesses, but particularly educating people who live in the community and giving them the resources so that they can not only start those businesses, but so that those businesses can stay open. Making sure that they have access to Invest Southwest and the SPIF programs. But one of the things I really want to advocate for is those programs are reimbursable programs. So if you're a business owner and this is your first time starting a business and you don't have $150,000 and you get a $150,000 SPIF grant, then you're not able to accept the grant because you have to have the money in the first place. So we need to make sure that there are either banks or programs that will back up and support people who are trying to start these businesses, or make sure that those programs are not reimbursable programs, that they actually give people the money up front so that they have the opportunity to start the businesses and to sustain them.
Thank you. Mr. Matthews. Humphrey, excuse me.
So specifically, for me, economic development in our area is building up businesses, ensuring that local business owners are residents. I think that there's a huge investment when business owners are reflective of the people that live in the community. My neighbor owns a sandwich shop 2 blocks from us, and it just means a lot. We have block club meetings there, and so we really have to support ownership that is reflective of the community. In addition to that, we still have a jobs crisis. 2 of the communities in the 4th Ward are amongst the highest 10 communities in the city with the highest unemployment. So we have to get jobs. When we hear businesses come to the community and businesses that are in the community, to hire from the community and hire locally. Also, I worked with Southside Community Credit Union just next door for 3 years to get residents that are unbanked banked, making sure young people get banked, and creating products that are non-predatory to provide loans and support, making sure folks are banked.
Thank you. Prentice.
I agree with the comments from my colleagues Ebony Lucas and Kahari Humphreys about economic development. Also want to make sure we say that it's important to prioritize our people in the community are able to access contracts and other opportunities that come along with all the development we see from Riis to things happening along the Cottage Grove corridor. If tax dollars are being spent to build these developments such as Northwestern, 4400 Grove, where Brownsville Winery is taking place, and Riis, we got to make sure our community is benefiting from those contracts. So although the city prioritizes a certain percentage of MBE, WBEs, or that stands for Minority Business Enterprises, Women Business Enterprises for these projects, that standard I consider the floor and not the ceiling. So we have to advocate for more contracts going to our communities, because if our tax dollars are paying for these giant economic development projects in our community, we should benefit from those.
I have a follow-up to that, just because you are currently in the position in the alderman's office. Talk to me about how you've been able to do that, how you've put that into practice now.
Absolutely.
Example.
So, for instance, 4400 Grove, when we first dealt with that project, it was just McShane. They said they were going to do it by themselves. They couldn't do a JV project. For those that don't know what that means, that's a joint venture project. So we stopped the project until they got a minority contract on that project, and that was Ujama. And they took a 40% of the contract. Riis, the advisory council said they wanted to have a diverse group of people working on that project. So we made sure that was codified, that they had a goal of at least 40% MBEs involved in that project. Also set aside programs and other things for the community.
Thank you.
Yes.
Tracy, please tell us what does economic development mean to you, and what would you do to initiate economic development within the ward?
So, Mace, economic development doesn't, to me, start with the buildings. It doesn't start with brick and mortar. It starts with people. And what that should look like is how we build people first. We have people that are unemployed in the ward, and it's how we look to make sure that they have access to opportunities for quality of life changes, for them to be able to sustain their households. It should start with the people first. Then from there, any businesses brought to the ward should be about what's needed in those communities for the people. I ran in 2015. In a part of the ward, people told me then they just needed a simple laundromat. They still don't have that laundromat. So to bring the businesses needed for the community, for what the community needs in that part of the ward, to make sure that these businesses are sustainable, that they can thrive, and that the people can enjoy them continuously. We have to do that intentionally, corridor by corridor, community in each ward, in the parts of the ward that exist based on what the needs are of those particular people.
Thank you, Tracy. And then Dr. West will ask you, what does economic development in the ward mean to you? And what would you do to initiate economic development within your ward?
Economic development in the ward, I concur with Tracy. It's about jobs. The people have to have a way to sustain themselves, and jobs need to be accessible to the people. Now, as far as businesses, also we need to promote and build the businesses in the community. Small businesses, minority and women-owned businesses. We need opportunities for incubator businesses, and we also need to teach our community to work, not just work, but shop and spend locally. We can build up our community when we keep our resources within the community. We need to work with our banks to make sure that the banks are making loans available and accessible to people who want to start businesses in the community.
Thank you. All right, I am going to come back to this side, and I'm going to start with you this time, Prentice. Talk to you. Everybody is talking about the jobs and the and starting with the people, et cetera. But one of the things that I also know about the Fourth Ward is there is a dichotomy of there's a wide range of incomes and a wide range of different people. And what I really want to know is, how would you manage the variety of people, but the undue influence of the University of Chicago in the Fourth Ward?
So listen, the university has had a bad track record. 50 years ago, urban renewal, as people used to call it, Negro move back in the community back in the day. But now knowing the beasts, understanding them, we can leverage them to get things done we need in the community. So when we leverage that resource for Harper Court Phase 2, which is under construction right now, we got resources for the community. We got resources for Kenwell High School.
So let me stop.
Yeah.
Let me just stop right here because I think I keep hearing this keep bouncing around.
Mhm.
This is the What's in it for the Black People Media, Black People First.
Sure.
What's in it for the Black People organization.
Mhm.
Part of the reason that the people in this show tune in is not for the community, but we want to get our answers tailored to Black folks. Now, I recognize that your ward has a wide variety of people. But this is what we consider an opportunity to speak to Black people. We often hear people giving us all types of people of color. There's a variety of different nicknames that all wind up with somebody else getting the economic resources that we talk about. So what I'd like to do from this point on, without anybody being considered a racist, without anybody being considered anything else, without any other media outlets trying to turn this into something else, this forum today was set up specifically to speak to issues that relate to Black residents in the city of Chicago. We have been convinced that we are not allowed to speak on our issues, that we have to be blended in, and essentially we are rapidly being removed, moving, exodus, whatever you want to call it, we are leaving the city. So from this point on, I'm going to ask you to speak specifically to Black people. There's a wide variety of communities out there. Today we are talking about Black people. If that is a problem for anybody, then please feel free to let us know that is an issue, because I think that will be something that our voters would like to know. All right? So with that in mind, I'm going to bring it back to you. I'm going to give you 30 more seconds on this. Put 45 more seconds back on this clock, and then we'll come back. But let's start with Black.
Absolutely. So, Mays, thank you for creating a safe space so we can discuss these issues. Now, getting back to it. University of Chicago, it's an 800-pound gorilla in the community, but you have to be willing to say no, speak truth to power, and utilize that resource to better the community. And that's what I've been doing over the past 11 and a half years, and when they're wrong, they're wrong. There's been a number of issues and initiatives they wanted to put in our community, the Black community, that didn't make sense. They need better practitioners. They need better representation within the university to connect to our communities, because right now, they have a hard time sometimes communicating to communities surrounding the university.
Okay, thank you. Kari. And if there is a preferred way that you would like me to address you, please don't take it offensively. Just let me know and I'll get it right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, the Tale of Two Cities is definitely alive in the Fourth Ward, and unfortunately, the interests of those that have in certain neighborhoods have gotten a little bit more love than others. We've had the highest number of school closings, loss of affordable housing that hasn't come back, and been researched by University of Chicago. I've been 20 years. I've been a board member for the Kenwood Oakland Community Organization, who've always fought for one of the oldest Black organizations in the city, who fought for Black people and interests, especially low income. And that's who holds me accountable, and that's who I'll be accountable to. So I do think that any institution that is in our community needs to be accountable to us. It needs to provide resources for us, and it's our elected officials that need to fight for that and to support the organizations that fight for that versus taking credit for the work that community organizers do in the area. So
thank you.
That's where I stand.
Ebony.
We have to understand the difference between participation and ownership. A lot of these projects that happen in our community, and recently there was, over the pandemic actually, a sale of over 2,000 units between the 3rd and 4th Ward. And those units were allowed to be sold to a white investor because they had Black participation. And Black participation means we have 2%, 3%. There's a development that's going up right now on 43rd Street, same thing, Black participation. The Black contractor that's working on it, 3%. That's not acceptable. So when we get University of Chicago to the table on these projects, what I'm looking at is a conversation about the difference between participation and ownership. And again, as I said in the beginning, we need to be at the table and not on the menu. That ownership piece should be the conversation. what Black-owned companies do you have involved? Because we're pretending like there's not Black-owned contractors and Black-owned companies, but there are.
Thank you.
There's Black-owned businesses, and making sure that those businesses have opportunity.
Dr. West.
I believe that we can leverage the strengths of University of Chicago, but in leveraging those strengths that they have, because they can bring a lot of resources to our community, we have to hold them accountable for doing that. As far as the businesses are concerned, University of Chicago has bought up pretty much tons of property within the Hyde Park community. And as long as they are buying these properties, we need to have a say, we need to have a seat at the table to discuss what types of businesses are being brought into these communities. They also have resources educationally that we need to make sure also that they're accountable for making the academic and educational resources available to our students or to our children in the community. So there is University of Chicago has definitely plenty of strengths that we can use to our advantage, but we have to make sure we're holding them accountable for doing that.
Tracy.
Mays, the University of Chicago has not been the best community partner. That's just the simple truth. They have an Office of Community Engagement. That engagement chooses and picks who they choose to engage with. University of Chicago has a responsibility to the Fourth Ward residents and to the community at large to be a better community partner. That is something that I would absolutely demand as Fourth Ward alderman. The university is coming to 47th and Drexel. They are building a new medical facility. They're not building it. It's actually there. It already stands. I was on the call for that process. And it really almost felt like bullying. We're coming. We're going to be here. And so they have to be accountable to us. They have to give better resources. They have to listen to the voice of community for what they need. A lot of it's not in the Fourth Ward so much right now. The remapping has done that. It's a lot of it in the 20th Ward and in the 5th Ward more so now. But they still have a responsibility to the Fourth Ward residents to be a better community partner.
Thank you, Tracy. I did. Prentice, I think we're in the middle now. So we're going to start with you, Mr. Humphreys. The Fourth Ward committeeman has obviously endorsed someone that is not on this stage. Please tell, and as probably the most powerful Democrat in Cook County, it seems as though you might find yourself in opposition. How would you envision? Let me not say that. Let me not set the stage for that. Let me suggest that obviously none of you are the choice of the current committeeman, or what some people would perceive as the most powerful person in the Democratic Party in Cook County. How would you all envision yourselves working in a relationship where, in that relationship, specifically with the political dynamics that go along with being the alderman? Kahari, I will start with you and go this way and come back to you and through Prentice.
So definitely, I appreciate that. So that's the other elephant in the room, that powerful politicians want to control the seat and have, because of what the Fourth Ward means to the city, the lakefront, the assets, the development opportunities. But I'm not a politician, right? I'm independent. I will work with whoever I need to work with to ensure that this ward is the best that it needs to be. But I also want to acknowledge that I'm independent coming into this role, and I am not led by any powerful politician trying to maintain their roles. This isn't a career aspiration for me. I left my past role for a pay cut, specifically if I get this role. And so I'm saying that to say that I will hold institutions accountable and politicians accountable, but would also work with anyone who's willing to do that. So I know there's been a democratic machine that has been operating, and we don't need that now. We need progress in our status quo.
Thank you. Ebony Lucas.
We have consistently in our community had the Democratic Party tell us how to vote and who to vote for, and we do it, and our communities look exactly the same as they did. I, as I mentioned, am unbought and unbossed. I unfortunately had to file a lawsuit against Tony Preckwinkle last week because she sent out a mailer with a bunch of false information. So standing up to somebody, whether they're in a position of power or perceived as most powerful, is something that I have done for 18 years as an attorney. I've stood up to the city of Chicago when they were stealing properties in the Black community. I've stood up for and I've stood up for myself in this situation with her. So, ultimately, there will be an opportunity that we probably will have to work together when I'm elected. But that working together is going to start with a level of respect that says, I'm not afraid to stand up to you because we're in a current lawsuit that I'm not going to dismiss, even if I win. And you're going to be held accountable to the community like I'm going to be held accountable to the community.
Thank you, Ebony. Dr. West. Pardon me.
I issued a press release very early during this campaign, cautioning the people of the Fourth Ward that their voices were attempting to be silenced through the efforts of the Democratic machine. The voices of the people were that they wanted a state representative who is now being puppeteered, in my opinion, to run for alderman. Now, that is a position that the Cook County Democratic Committee seems to feel they have the power, the authority to anoint and appoint. I already have, I guess, gotten myself in a position where they know that I am going to speak truth to power. I can work with anyone. I've worked in corporate, I've worked in education, and I know how to use diplomacy, but I also, as Ebony indicated, I will demand the respect and not allow that perceived power of one person to dictate what goes on in this community.
Thank you. Tracy.
Mace, give me that question again.
How Toni Preckwinkle is perceived as the most powerful Democrat, and she has not endorsed any of the people on this stage. How would you envision yourself being able to work with her as the alderman, understanding that she does have undue influence in that community?
First, it's problematic that she is the Cook County Board President and she gets to be a committeeman. That's problematic for me. Totally. It should be for us as a community. How do you get to be Cook County Board President and you're the committeeman, which controls what it looks like, the voting in the ward and the people placed for the voting? I ran before. I saw what that machine looks like rolling when they talk about that, how it rolls. And really, Maze, is problematic, and it should be for everybody. How would I work with her? Directly. That's just it. The alderman's office and what she's attempting to do in the Fourth Ward, it's time for that to end. The people are tired of it. I believe the people will speak on it and will speak to it in the election coming up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Prentice.
So, Maze, I think most people are ready to turn the page on the leadership in this ward in terms of what's been here for the last 30, 40 years. And frankly, for black people in the city, we have to change how politics is done. Because right now, we don't have a real democracy where everyone's able to participate and their voice is heard equally. And we have to change that. Now, how do I work with, if I'm potentially alderman, with the Cook County committeeman or the committeewoman for the 4-4? You have the community at your back. And from walking the community and talking to people, me and my colleagues here on this dais, we all have heard the same. People want something different. They don't want machine politics. They want an independent voice and a voice that listens directly to the community, not to special interests and not to other stakeholders, just the community.
Okay. I made it out of the way. So let me go. Everybody had a chance to start, right? Did you have a chance to start, Dr. West? Okay, so we'll start. I know you did because you came this way. So I'm going to come back to you, Tracy. So one of the things that I have also noticed is that in this race, one of the things I talk about on the morning show is candidates being funded and the ability to win and the role of money and money, politics, influence in that space. Each one of you, if you could tell me briefly, and it does not have to be a minute, what is your path to victory? The candidate that is not here seems to have the most money and the most institutional support. But tell me, how do you win this election? Tracy, we'll start with you.
By touching the people, talking to the people, Mays. Being supported, I didn't seek the endorsement of any of these unionized organizations because my voice will be in city council for the people of the Fourth Ward. I don't have special interest group, didn't seek their endorsements because, again, my voice will be for the people who I touch every day. I was asked to run by the people of the Fourth Ward. I just didn't wake up one morning and decide that I wanted to run. And even when I was asked initially, my answer was no. But then after getting robbed, you know what? I realized we got to do something different. And we've had successes in ECCSC with how we go about the work that we do. And I know that we need to take that to a bigger level. So continuing the work that I'm already doing, continuing to touch the people, and making sure that their voice is heard.
Okay.
Similar to what Tracy stated, is continuing to press the flesh, meet the people where they are, door knocking, build relationships, and reinforce relationships I've had over the last 12 years working in the community. And with that, I believe victory is possible. Being out at the early voting center over the past few days, I've heard people say that they're tired of status quo. They're tired of being inundated with who they should vote for in terms of these pluggers, these mailers saying you should vote for this person because they're endorsed by this person. We need to have an independent voice. I think people are ready for a change, and somebody's not beholden to special interests.
Mr. Humphrey.
So, of course, not endorsed by perceived powerful politicians and special interest groups, real estate investors, realtors. But my belief is that the real power, the real political power is in the people. And we've lost that. We've been convinced that we don't have it. And so ultimately getting connected to the people, talking to 10,000 people, shaking 10,000 people's hands. I am endorsed by United Working Families. I am endorsed by teachers unions and college teachers unions. And I believe those are the people that are working to make our communities better. So my pathway to victory is staying and being connected to them and getting to know others and making sure they understand my commitment and the work that I've done and will do.
Thank you. Ebony?
I mentioned that I ran before, and so we've basically been using this time to build on the support that we already had from the previous campaigns by building coalitions, building relationships. I have relationships with everyone here on this day, so hopefully if I make the runoff, they will all be supportive of me, and we'll continue to work together throughout the community. But really just continuing to build and strengthen relationships in the community, continuing to connect with the condominium associations, the block clubs, and organizations that are influential in the community. You're not going to outraise the Democratic Party, right? And so, he has over $400,000. He's running TV commercials. But my thought is you walk, you win. So I'm out there every day, feet hurt, back hurt, walking, knocking on doors, talking to people, spending time on the phone, raising what I can, and just being careful about how I spend those resources.
Thank you. Dr. West.
My path to victory basically is through the people. I definitely do not have the funding and the resources to compete with a candidate who has $400,000. I've not raised those kinds of funds. So my path to victory basically is through the people, and through the people understanding, trusting me, and understanding that I am genuine, I am sincere. Everything that I share with the people when I am out here meeting people comes from my heart. I am not a career politician. I'm just a person who is dedicated to the people and to the community and to get their trust. The trust that I earn from the people is the path to victory that will see me through. And I also hope to get everyone else's support should I make the runoff. So thank you.
All right. This one is a question specific to the Fourth Ward. Chicago Insight promised the community a lot, including the continuation of services that existed at Mercy Hospital, which took care of some high-risk pregnancies. At this time, they still do not have an active labor and delivery unit.
What actions will you take to ensure that they bring back the services they promised and that they don't close the hospital at the end of their 10-year contract? I am going to start with you, Dr. West.
Okay, let me first
That is
start.
from Dr. Audrey Tanksley.
Okay, and let me start by saying that doctor is not MD. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Well, obviously, if we are lacking those services at Inside Hospital, we obviously must meet with them and identify what needs to be done in order to bring those services back to Mercy Hospital. I was diagnosed. I know how important it is to have these kinds of prenatal care for women and any other illness that we might have. I was diagnosed at Mercy Hospital with cancer. And so I know how important it is to make certain that the services that we need must be in place.
But what would you do, specifically at your role as alderman, to be able to make sure that they live up to their promises? 30 seconds, I'll add to that.
Okay, well, me personally, I guess I would have to meet and collaborate with their board and understand what services they need that the city can provide. If there is something that the city can do to support bringing those services in, I would certainly advocate to make sure that we have those resources available to them.
Okay, thank you. Ebony.
Black women in the country have the highest infant mortality rate of anyone else. And so it is extremely important that we have access to services and particularly prenatal services, but services throughout, not just prenatal, but throughout the whole birthing process. There are a couple Black-owned midwives that are in the community that people don't know about. So one of the things I want to do is make sure that people know about the Black-owned services, because those Black women who have actually experienced the labor process and who go through it and who care about it, people should know about those services that
Apply
are available.
that to Mercy
and
Hospital.
then to Mercy Hospital, those creating partnerships. We have to create strategic partnerships with the businesses that are already in the community so that we make sure that we're supporting those Black-owned businesses already in the community. But we also need to make sure that they're not getting city dollars if they're not providing the services that they're supposed to provide.
I think they already got them, but we're going to stop there. Thank you. Let's go to Mr. Humphreys.
So I was part of a team that brought a Mercy clinic to the old, to Oakwood Shores, old Ida B. Wells. And in addition, proud to be, like I said, a board member of one of the community organizations that actually kicked off the fight to save Mercy, despite the fact that elected officials are trying to take credit for that. And so I think that there has to be community members on the boards of these institutions so that when there start to be rumors of lacks of services or things of that sort, that community members are part of that. So I would definitely advocate to ensure that there are always community people and organizations at the table. Also, to ensure that funding, both from the state level, the federal level, and city level, goes to this organization, because to ensure that there are comprehensive services, because right now there aren't.
Thank you. Go ahead, Prentice, and then Tracy. I'll come back to that.
First of all, I'd like to say the whole process for how Insight was selected was not transparent. It should have been more community oversight in that process, and we should have asked more hard-hitting questions about what is your sustainability plan. We asked to see their financials from the previous operation in Michigan. That was never provided. So I would definitely ask that any interaction going forward with Insight, they need to have a transparent process for their decision-making process. They need to have more community on the board so we can make sure there's proper oversight of this critical medical infrastructure in our community. So it's asking the hard question. Any leader that's in a position of authority over such an institution like that has to ask the follow-up questions. It's not just about saving the hospital. What's the long-term sustainability plan, and how do you plan to really impact the community? I've been to Mercy recently, and it is not the hospital that we knew 3 to 4 years ago. So I don't know if I would call it safe as of today. It's more so, is this prolonged?
Thank you. Tracy?
when you have institutions, community institutions that are necessary to that community being challenged, as Mercy was in closing, and a service provider such as Insight coming in who wasn't transparent in the process, to have not giving what they needed to give to assure that they would be able to deliver services to the community, that is problematic. The unfortunate thing is, yes, there were organizations in the community that stood up to save that hospital, but they did not ask for the correct things. Just to be at the table and not have a voice is not okay. You have a state rep stating that he saved Mercy. To what avail? Year 10, day 1, Insight can sell that property for whatever they so choose to. And that is what's going to happen, because be very clear, Michael Riis, Bronzeville Lakefront will be built by then. That land will be more valuable. We don't have any assurances from Insight on what that facility will be. It's not even an emergency care facility. Okay.
You got the Hulk breathing on my neck, right? Anyway, so let me back up, because we get back to this community thing, right? And one of the things that I have a challenge with is we substitute community and we assume that means black, right? We assume that means the residents that are going to be there. And so one of the things that is happening is we allow the word community to be put in there. And is it the community that's currently there? Is it the community that they anticipate being there? Right? We have all of these connotations of community for the Fourth Ward. And that connotation, like if I was to say the low end right now, the connotation to you would be that was black, but the reality is it's not. And so one of the things that I would like to hear in this conversation is, and it'll go towards a question, because we ask for specific delineations of contracts. In the city of Chicago, they say minority, they got diversity, they got DEI, and essentially what happens is the pool gets cluttered, right? And what we find is that there are people who are not black, or there are people who are black who are not descendants of slavery, right, that tend to benefit from the labor, the fight that we have. Talk to me about, how do you address the specific... Oh, let me say this, and we are running out of time. You all can stay a little bit longer. Our on-air portion, to everybody that is listening to us on 1570 AM, you can continue this conversation by joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. This is the last chance debate with the candidates for the 4th Ward Alderman. We have in the building Dr. Helen West. We have Ebony Lucas, we have Matthew Kahari Humphreys, we have Prentice Butler, and we have Tracy Bay, all in the building. So 5 of the 6 candidates are here. If you have questions, if you'd like to call us, give us a call, 872-259-7474. We'll take your calls. But I want to encourage you all to continue. If you all have a few more minutes to stick with us, or you got to run. All right, I'm going to ask you, because there is a raging debate that is going on in the black community across the country. Right across the country, but then very specifically here in the city of Chicago, where we find that companies are starting to benefit from diversity, equity, and inclusion, but we find that people who were grown here, who were born here, are being boxed out for people who are from other places, right? Who are able to take advantage of the diversity, equity, and inclusion. Talk to me about, how do we specifically grow the black American descendants? I'm going to use ADOS as the context. I know that there's a variety of blah, blah, blahs and all of that go with it, and then you get into these specifics. But descendants of American slavery here seem to be the last to benefit from minority designations, disadvantaged designations, etc. And even as we talk about who got the contracts for it to build the things that are here, they're usually not. I've seen brothers who are from Chicago get skipped over for brothers who are not from Chicago, who do not even get the same equity in the deal, right? So I look at a lot of these buildings. I see a lot of names plastered on them. I see we're celebrating, but I don't see that come back to the black communities. So what I'd like to know is, how would you all deal with the specific ability for black businesses, descendants of slavery, to be able to benefit from the largesse that is happening in the city of Chicago, if that's even an issue to you. I am going to start. Did I do this? I'm going to start with you, Tracy. Go ahead.
DEI, division, exclusion, and invasion. That's what that really stands for. We need to be very clear. It's everybody but us. Everybody but us, Mays. As a black contractor, as a black woman that goes after businesses, the WMBE program is absolutely broken. It's the biggest crock of crap ever. That includes white women. It includes other minorities. That does not include us. I fight every day in this lane as a contractor for what that should look like for us. Without those certifications, I am a black woman, and I will stand and make sure that people, descendants of slave, have opportunity. We have enough black businesses within the Fourth Ward. We were intentional on the Riis site to make sure that that is what happens on that site, that community builds that site, that they get first option to build in the Fourth Ward and on that site, and then next, other black companies first.
Okay. Prentice?
Yes, sir. So intentionality is important. We have to focus and make sure the black businesses are at the table and make sure they are available and they know about new contracting opportunities in our community. Growing up in Chicago, I remember we had a black middle class in Chatham, South Shore, South Side, and West Side. In the last 30 years, the economic base has been eviscerated. And that's why a lot of people are leaving Chicago, black people in particular. 300,000 African Americans have left the city since 2000. We can't have access to jobs or education opportunities, so we're X'd out. So we have to be intentional about making sure black companies are able to scale up, black companies are able to take part in contract opportunities so they can employ our community. I'm going to tell you this, black companies are the ones that employ our people. Without these small businesses and black-owned companies, we cannot have a sustainable black middle class in the city.
Thank you, Prentice. Mr. Humphreys.
So it's where the rubber meets the road that matters, right? And that's based upon leaders that are not dealing with their own interests, but dealing with the interests of the community they serve. I've had 25 years working in community. Many of that time has been volunteering in addition to nonprofit, working with young people. So when I think about so we have programs and initiatives. They're broken because the people aren't implementing it in the spirit of what it was meant to be done and how it's supposed to be done. I've watched people say that they can't get black businesses there. There's not been much, if any, investment in young people. And we talk about the real businesses, young people, black children under 25 that are being sent off to prison so that they can work for free in the prison industrial complex. And so for me, I mean, it really is about how do we get connected to young men, young people in the community. When I say young, I'm talking about 25 and under, to really get them into sustainable life positions.
Thank you. Ebony Lucas?
We need a naming campaign. And the naming campaign should be that we don't call ourselves minorities. We don't call ourselves African Americans. We call ourselves black descendants of slavery. And it's very clear when we're sitting at the table who we're talking about. Because right now, when we talk about minorities, it's not clear who we're talking about. And I went on such a naming campaign during a pandemic when we worked with the housing providers and black people had to show up to the table and say, wait a minute. When we talk about landlords, you guys are thinking about the white man with the monopoly hat. Meanwhile, the black people who are providing housing in black communities are struggling because people are unable to pay their rent. And we need to make sure they have resources. And sitting at those tables and being able to say that, once we started saying, we're housing providers, we're not landlords, we're not the white monopoly man, the vision, the people's visual changed. The problem right now is, again, people don't know who we're talking about when we're talking about minorities. They think we're talking about white women. They think we're talking about Latinos. They think we're talking about all these other groups, and they don't realize we're talking about black descendants of slavery and making sure that we have not participation, but ownership at the table.
Dr. West.
Do you mind repeating that question for me?
Dang, what was the question? Now she made me lose the question. Wait, dang. What did I go to? I lost it. I should, huh? Oh, yeah. Excuse me, I'm sorry. What would you do to protect or to distinguish black people and make sure that the contracts that are in the city of Chicago go to American descendants of slavery?
Okay. I think it's be important that we first educate our community. And when I say community, I am speaking of the black descendants of slavery. That we need to educate them of resources that are available. We need to provide workshops and make sure that there is access. Because, first of all, there has to be awareness. Once the people are aware of what resources are available to build their own businesses or to support building those businesses, aware of the workshops that can be provided through Small Business Administration. There are many avenues to being self-sufficient through entrepreneurship. But I think we need to educate. I think we need to make sure the awareness is there and access to resources are there in order to support black descendants of slavery in building new businesses.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to come back this way. Some of these questions are going to go a lot faster, so I want to do them in like 30 seconds, right? If you can give me an answer in 30 seconds. If you need a little bit more time, I'm happy to give it to you, but let's try to do them in 30 seconds. Real quickly, Ebony, I'll start with you, and then we'll come this way and come back to you, Dr. West. Do you support building other projects on CHA land?
No. When you say other projects, I'm assuming you're talking about other than housing.
Do you support building other projects other than housing on CHA land?
Correct. I support building housing on CHA land.
Yeah, I support building housing, affordable housing on CHA land. To be clear, subsidized housing on CHA land. But I also think that if there is other things, like if the Marianos had housing over it, then it would have made more sense. So if there are other projects on CHA land, they have to have affordable subsidized housing as a part of it.
Okay.
No, not without community input.
Okay. Tracy?
No, I don't.
Dr. West?
I don't have a problem with it, especially if it's mixed use. But when we talk about mixed use as having a business on one level, such as Mariano's, we have to make certain that the allocation of affordable housing is fair, not 20% like at the Michael Riis project. There's only 20% affordable housing allocated there. So mixed use, yes, but the allocation has to be greater, and certainly in support of having more affordable housing there.
Wonderful.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
I need some clarity to be understood on the Michael Riis site. We exceeded the affordability level of what the city requirement is on that site, Dr. West, and everybody.
So what is it, 10? What is
Yes.
it, 10? And did you make it? So it's 10 and is it 10 and
10?
10?
We got 20% affordable.
27
on that site.
any
On
CHA?
site. On site.
On site, not off site. Be clear, the developer bought Prairie Shores.
Okay.
And we demanded that they not put the affordability piece on Prairie Shores because it sits right next door to that land.
Okay.
We
And Mike
fought
Riis-
for it to be on that site.
And Mike Riis is
Be
not
clear.
CHA land. Just want to make sure. we're
Oh,
clear.
okay. So
At
Michael
all.
Riis is not CHA land. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, real
But
quickly.
we exceeded the city requirement.
Correct.
We fought for that.
Required affordable units, though, is that what happens is the developer builds they build one bedroom in studio units. They don't build units for families. And so then you're not really actually creating the affordable housing that's needed for families, which is why we have to make sure that on CHA land, we're building housing. The other thing that's super important is that we don't have a development plan in the Fourth Ward. And when you do that and you have all these mixed-use developments, it's why businesses fail. We have to have clear commercial corridors. That's why businesses in Fulton Market are successful, because people are able to walk from business to business. And that's why businesses in Lincoln Park are successful, because you understand the commercial corridors from the housing corridors.
Thank
and
you.
that's very
I'm
important.
going to give you an opportunity to rebut. And I'm going to give both, because I think all three of you all were involved in the project. Look, 30 seconds each, and then I'm about to bring this back into it. You want to go last? Tracy, you can go first, and then I give you Prentice.
Again, micro-recite, we were very intentional about what that looks like. Sister Zakia Muhammad, who listens to your show, hey, Sister Zakia, good morning, fought in the housing subcommittee. We fought for family units, not one bedrooms, not studios on that particular site. So again, when it's done right, when it's activated properly in the community, you get the right results. And we did that on that site. When you have the voice of community at the table demanding the right things for the community, you get that. That micro-recite is going to be walkable, just like Fulton Market, because we made sure of that. So please, everybody, be clear.
Princess?
I think Tracy said it all, but...
But since I got 30 seconds on this mic, I'm about to get it.
I will say this. There is a development plan in the 4th Ward for all the corridors. You're seeing that pan out right now. Brownsville Winery and other businesses that are coming down the corridor, Northwestern, mixed-use development on Cottage Grove, 47th, and 43rd Street. That has been planned out through a community process that began 20 years ago. Now it doesn't need to be updated. Of course it does. There is a plan, and we're trying to stick to it, but there is a conversation that we need to have about the future of the community going forward.
All right. And this is going to be oversimplified. This is super oversimplified. I'm going to ask for one solution, your first solution to the issue of crime in the 4th Ward. I know that there is an perceived overabundance of carjackings in the area, but I'm going to ask you for, this is super oversimplified, but I want one strategy that you will implement to decrease the crime in the 4th Ward. Mr. Humphreys.
One solution.
Give me one. Get it all in one sentence. Let's do it that way. Give me one big one. One big idea.
So for me, community responder model is something that is important. We have a lot of, there's 2,000 police that we lost the last 4 years. There's money that is basically that the police department has for these vacancies that don't get filled. You can take a portion of that money to get community responders. It's a national model where we get mental health workers out with police. We get youth providers, street intervention. You can pay for those folks. And as we know, when we go into community corridors, corridor ambassadors, like when you go into Hyde Park and you see people on the corners, that provides more visibility. It provides people on the street, and we have money for it that we're holding for police that aren't being hired. So
okay, that was more than one, but that was a good one. You stuck it in there. Go ahead, Prentice.
Equity and resources. That is the solution to our public safety issues in the community. We need equity and resources when it comes to police officers, equity and resources when it comes to education, equity and resources when it comes to mental health services. Equity and resources is important to have a safe community here in the 4th Ward.
All right, Tracy Bay.
To piggyback off of that, yes, equity and resources to continue to pay for intervention programs like ECCSC that we are currently and actively providing in the 4th Ward right now.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, Dr. West.
Community policing and accountability. Holding our police accountable for the services for public safety that they're to provide for us. I think that it is very important that we have police walking throughout the community, surveying our community, being aware of suspicious activities, accountable for not only preventing crime, but also accountable for the urgency to solve crimes. So I think that accountability and the community policing, we need more resources on the streets.
Thank you very much, Ebony. We'll let you close on this. And then we're going to take a call, and then we're going to take a break. Right? I'm going to let everybody get them a water sip, go to the bathroom, get yourself together. I'm just letting you know you all have a pretty high volume of viewers right now. I think it is a great opportunity. It's a shareable content, so I would encourage you to finish up. Let's go to Ebony.
I'm a firm believer that an idle mind is a devil's playground. So we need to make sure that we have robust after-school and summer programming. So expanding after-school matters. One Summer Chicago, to have theater, music, other career development programs that pay kids, pay them, ages 14 to 19 to participate. those programs already exist. We need to expand them. We need to make sure that kids have transportation to the programs, that they're picking them up from school and taking them to the programs, because transportation is one of the obstacles for them to participate. Once we have those programs that they're interested in and we're building their interests, they're going to become a lot more productive. They're going to do things that they enjoy. They'll be able to choose what they do, and they'll have the ability to participate even if their parents don't have the resources to get them involved.
Okay. So, look, we're going to take a call because we do have callers. I just need to let y'all know this is one of our highest rated shows, so you guys are getting very good ratings. But let's do this. I'm going to take a call. We're going to play the call. We're going to ask you to answer the caller's question. Then we're going to take a break. Let everybody go take a breath, breathe, go get your donut, go outside, stretch out, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. We'll give you the opportunity. And if there's anything that you all feel like you'd like in the meantime to have brought to the table, or if there's an issue that you think is bigger, I'm happy to bring it up in between before the time we go. But let's do this, Riis. Who we got on the line? We got a call on the line. Caller, you're on the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the Last Chance Debate. Candidates from the 4th Ward. Caller, where you calling from?
I'm calling from the mighty 21st Ward. Good morning, candidates. Good morning.
Good morning. What you calling from the 21st Ward on the 4th Ward day? What's going on? Who is this?
This is Devin Gordine. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, what up, Mr. President? How you feel? I was like, you calling from the mighty 21st for the... All right, this is the president of What's in It for the Black People First. Shout out to our man, Devo. What's up, Devo? How you feeling this morning? You got a question for the candidates?
Yes, sir. We thank you to What's in It for the Black People Media. Thank you to the candidates. Thank you for being respectful and punctual, and thank you for being available to the community and the listening audience. My question specifically is on the status of urban prep. Would you, if elected as alderperson, would you be willing to withhold votes until a viable solution for the investment and continuity of urban prep as a functioning entity for Black males? Would you support that financially, and would you be willing to withhold votes until that situation is rectified? Thank you very much, and thank you all, and have a great day. Thank you. Peace.
Urban prep. So one of the big topics on our show is urban prep, and I'll summarize that one for you if we can. Urban prep is a school for young Black men. I'm sure you all are very aware. And regardless of its status as a charter school, it stood out as a beacon for young Black men. It was when you saw those young men with the yellow scarves on when they went to Springfield, it was like they were the reason that so many things passed. And now we see that there is a dismantling of urban prep, which seems to be follow along the lines of dismantling of Black men, period, and those ideals. So would you use your leverage in the city council in any way to support or to revitalize or to bring back urban prep? I started with, let's start with you, Prentice. We'll go to Tracy, and then we'll come back to, we'll end with Mr. Humphreys.
The urban prep model is based in part on the model from Hales Franciscan High School. So I believe in the power of what can happen. You believe in young Black men. You pour into them and give them the resources that it can be great. Urban prep needs to have a sustainability model planned out for how they CPS intends to keep that model alive. Now, I know we don't have a direct vote as aldermen about the plans for CPS, but we need to continue to advocate and bring to light the issues at urban prep and advocate for a sustainability plan for the schools so it can be up and running still. The greatness of our community begins with our young men. We have to make sure we have a plan to save urban prep, keep the teachers in place, to give these young men the resources they need to be successful in life.
You all mind if I move that one to a 30-second question? Can I turn that? You need an hour for that? A minute for that one. Can I turn that into 30, and then I'm going to turn it into 30, and then I'm going to give everybody a chance to get a break, because I can imagine, and you see I'm already done with my coffee, so I know I got to go. Anyway, let's go to you, Tracy.
So a sustainability plan for urban prep, for sure, is absolutely needed. Mays, we at ECCSC, we have went and we've gone and we've stood with those children. We've been present at that school because they feel very despondent right now. They don't know what's going to happen. Young Black boys who feel like their success is there at that school. It's a shame. We stood with them at the Illinois State Board for the schools, with the children, to make sure that their voices get heard, continuing to make sure that school is fought for, even though it's a charter school. They're having success with those young black men. We should be looking to fight that fight.
Thank you, Tracy. We will go to Dr. West. 30 seconds.
Yes, I would definitely support doing anything that would keep urban prep open, and I would withhold any vote. I think that was the question. Would we withhold a vote until there is a plan in place to support the sustainability of the school? So yes, I would support that.
Okay. Ebony?
The Fourth Ward has community advisory councils, and I talked a lot about these community advisory councils in my last race, and I was really glad to see that the current alderman implemented them. But there really needs to be a schools community advisory council where we really have community members that are involved in and understand what's going on at the schools, both charter and the public schools. The urban prep really needs a model that's similar to the public schools in the local school councils, so that they have a board that is comprised of community members and they can get community support and resources so that they can have a plan to sustain the school, because we do want to see that school stay in the community and to continue to provide what they're providing to black boys. And as a mother of 3 sons, who I completely understand the need for them to have that type of education where they can be in an all-male environment. I want to make sure that we're continuing to support and help them be successful.
Thank you. Kari?
So yes, I would withhold vote and would want to ensure sustainability of this program and this model. As an LSC member of Doolittle, the school next door, I brought a male mentorship program that just took a bunch of young men to the auto show last week. I'm a member of the education committees that Ms. Lucas is talking about, both the Greater Bronzeville Community Action Council for the last 11 years. I'm an education chair for Grand Boulevard. And I think that this moment right now is an opportunity because urban prep is in the school that was Doolittle East that was closed, right? And now it's a charter school that did not work. Here's an opportunity now for CPS, the city, and foundations that claim that they care about and want to invest in young black men to stand up now and to invest in a program that will sustain and be supported and focused on the development of young black men. This is a chance for that now, and I'll support that.
Thank you. So look, I see we have 2 people that would like to rebut you, Ebony, so I'm going to give you both 15 seconds. And then after the 15-second rebuttal, I'll give you 10 to respond. And then, so what's that? 30, 40 seconds, right? And then we're going to take, Prentice will take it, so we'll yield you to 30 seconds. He'll give you 15 seconds to respond. You got 45 seconds.
This is a quick point of clarification. So there are advisory councils for education in the 4th Ward, right? And then there is a pre-existing organization, Bronzeville Community Action Council. And Mr. Kahari Humphreys has been part of it for years. I've attended those meetings, and there's been vigorous discussions. I just want to make sure there is infrastructure already in place for community participation, but we need to do more. So I wanted to clarify that.
Okay, is that the same point you wanted to make? All right, Ebony.
I argue with him because he said we need to do more, and that's my point. I think he made my point.
Okay, and then on that note, look, y'all, we're going to take a quick break. Hey, y'all, I'm going to just tell you, this has been a lively conversation. I'm excited that we're doing this. This is the last chance. Don't clap too much because y'all ain't done yet. Y'all ain't finished. We're going to get, this is the last chance candidate debate, the 4th Ward. I want to thank Dr. West, Ebony Lucas, Matthew Kahari Humphreys, Prentice Butler, and Tracy Bay. Look, y'all, I know so many people on the stage, so I'm trying to do my best to be as neutral as possible, right? But I am grateful that you all have been here. So take a quick break, and we'll be right back, Riis, after these messages.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Over 25 years ago, Patrick Brutus decided that serving the public was the best way to help his community. And since then, he has been a dependable and trustworthy friend to all. Now, by fighting for safe and walkable streets, new businesses, and retail corridors, Patrick Brutus has the right vision and the most experience to lead the 6th Ward. On Election Day, punch 53 for Patrick Brutus, because he's our choice for alderman of the 6th Ward.
With the longtime 34th Ward turning into the 21st Ward, there's only one clear choice for your next alderman of the 21st Ward, Cornell Dantzler. If you live in the 34th Ward, which is now the 21st Ward, vote for Cornell Dantzler in the upcoming election to represent your ward as alderman.
We will work together as a family and as a team so that we can make the 21st Ward one of the best wards in the city of Chicago. Thank you.
Punch 51 for Cornell Dantzler.
Why not Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago? The criminals won't like Willie Wilson in the mayor's office. Fighting crime is Willie Wilson's first priority. Willie Wilson is ready to take on the criminals. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor.
I love being black. Do you love being black? Yeah, I love being black. Hey, I do this for my people all across the globe. Hey, it's brick. The skin I'm in fit me fine, tailor-made, yeah, I'm comfortable. And so it seems I'm still chasing my dreams. They told me, watch my steps, they want to pull the rug from under you. This is transparency, my life 3D. Live every word that I utter, reporting live from the gutter. Where the mind's hard to change, but we don't give up on our brothers and sisters. Cause we all need one another. The time's getting closer, revolution, feel it coming. I can smell it in the air. Inhale it, let it embody you. Because chances are the cops pull you over, they body you. Plus we don't trust each other, so there's just another obstacle. Why jump hurdles to make a change, it ain't optional. Olympian mindset in this booth with my binoculars. I see my vision getting clear, just as what a prophet do. My music touch the people's soul, black power gospel tunes. So many styles, watch me kick them like they soccer moves. Falling rank and file, this is my platoon. Soldiers at attention, ain't no Willie lynching. This the program, who they think they kidding? Reinvent the system, total reconstruction of our mental stigma. This ain't a game, boy. Still they think I'm talking about Nintendos, that's a shame, boy. Augment reality, better fix your brain, boy. I love my people, hope they love me black. I'm going hard and ain't no holding back. Watch me react, I put my fist up in the skies like a beacon for believers that one day we return to our greatest shit. We seek it, all the glory we can obtain it, keep reaching. I'm painting this picture, I hope you see it. Guess what the theme is? I love being black. We turning up. That's why I love being black. Say it loud, man, I love being black. One more time, I love being black. Hey. Well, how about you done seen these tunes too? Customize for you a little something you can groove to. Feeling good about yourself, melanated mood muse. Always service humble pie, we don't care about who's who. Light brown or dark skin, this right here's for you too. We are the gods of the earth, living proof truth. Say it loud, if you black and proud, I salute you and that's a fact. Where you at? Let me hear you say it back. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud. Man, I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Hey. Super melanation, renovation of our databases. Gotta fix the trinity to make it past the matrix. There's a rabbit in the hole. Your decision, you gon' chase it or just shut up for complacency. Here's your motivation. Black power in your veins. Up to us to build a nation. European mental detox completely. We erase it. Cause you can't keep writing over old information. Probably bring it right back if you love being black. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud. Man, I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Hey. I do this for my people all across the map. Even for the ones who don't identify with being black. Hebrews the best elixir. Go ahead and try your best. This truth serum, my loose spirits. The ancestors speak through me. I spit the truth. Hear it. Broken souls here to re-engineer them so that they fearless. This precious atmospheric as the hell is spinning. Trying to strategize a way so we can start winning. It begins with pride of yourself. Embracing this feeling. Said no new friends. That's what happened to the village. Too much individualism. It's easier to pillage. I'm just making this appearance for coherence. So you can understand what we up against. Hit the reset button, switch covenants. It's my contract to the people that I'm publishing. It's a new era, hood to hood, feel the power and I'm loving it. Turn up, neck turn up. Strapped with the black burner. Murder, keep sleeping and I shoot up your server. Corrupt the service, second file, man, it's time to purge them. We waking up and that's what got them nervous. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man, I love being black. One more time, I love being black. Hey.
Today the
Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breaching security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater. But she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history. All because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gon' tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed. To certain rights we are not granted. The media's the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narrative. It's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wildin' with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights, homie. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They're giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in the part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there's terrorism.
Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City
full of gangsters. It's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mace Jackson Show. Look, they all up there. Look, the candidates up there like, you know, I paid the bill, too. I promise y'all I paid the bill. But this could be a Lahey question, but I'm going to let that be. We are finishing. Look, let me tell y'all what. We are doing the last chance candidate debates. And I must tell you, I've been impressed with all the candidates today, but I think I got in trouble because they was like, man, you said this was a debate. This ain't no, they was like, we want to take the gloves off. They was like, we want to scrap. We want to get a little punch in, a little gut punch. So let me just say, look, they like, no. Look, this. So let me just say this. Let me say this. If there is a point or a point of contention that you feel like you'd like to address, we will just please raise your hand, let me know, and we'll open up. We'll give you 10 seconds, right? And if we need to expound upon it, we'll give you the opportunity of 10 seconds. Something I feel a little vibe here, though, right? I ain't going to even lie. With this group, there seems to be a lot more congeniality than I would have expected or anticipated in a race of this nature, with so much at stake. And I must tell you that I must commend you all in this. I have not, as I expected to see a lot more slanging, a lot more name calling, a lot more gut punches, a lot more. And what I seem to see here is 5 candidates that are definitely committed and dedicated to their community. And regardless of who wins, it does seem as though you all have been and will continue to be forces to be reckoned with in your community. That's stated, man. I'm going to start with an environmental question. We got phone calls, but I'm going to take the environmental question first. Now, you know, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge my beautiful and lovely wife, the president of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation, Carrie K. Steele, in the building. And so when she said, you think you can get an invite? Like I want to be sleeping on the couch. So, of course, I could get an environmental question in. And I think what we'll do with the environmental question is let's just start with you, Tracy, but we'll just, if everybody can answer it. There are several environmental issues in your ward, but if you had to prioritize environmental issues, what environmental issues would you address first? Address, not solve, how and why? Tracy.
That's a good question. I mean, well, we started at the Riis site. You know, there was remediation that needed to happen at that site. People don't know that land has been contaminated for quite some time. And so making sure that that remediation has taken place, that has absolutely started. It's finished, Prentice? Finished. And so I'm trying to think of what other issues exist in the ward as far as the point, that's not our ward, but, you know, the lakefront absolutely needs some shoring up. But you got me scanning the ward for sites and what else are the issues.
Ding.
Okay.
We'll go to you, Prentice. What are the biggest environmental issues, and what would you how would you address them? Not solve, but address. How and why?
The replacement of lead pipes in our communities. That's the biggest infrastructure concern we have, and we need to advance that. I think the mayor says she will get it done by 2050. We don't have time to wait. This is worse than what we have in Flint, Michigan. We just don't talk about it. And lead has been shown in scientific studies to impact the brain development of our youth. So we have to prioritize replacing the lead pipes in our community to make sure we have healthy, safe communities.
All right.
Yeah, I think that there's remediation that needs to happen at CHA sites. With that development, so that's one piece. Also, with development sites across the ward. In addition to that, the lead pipes. There's an opportunity. There's funding with the ARP funding that the Park District has to replace their water features, things like that, with lead pipes. So there's opportunities now that we can kind of pounce on to ensure that happens. And then I'm also, this isn't the Fourth Ward, but I'm a supporter of keeping the limestone at Promontory Port. So,
okay. Yeah. Ebony?
So the lead is the most obvious, the lead in the pipes. It definitely needs to be expedited. But we also need to preserve our waterfront. So the Fourth Ward is right along the lake. And we have to make sure that as we're using that and as use of it is increasing, that we're preserving the quality of the lakefront because it's a beautiful area. That we have trash cans because right now there's a lot of places along the lakefront there's no trash cans and people just throw garbage everywhere. And so we have to make sure that we're preserving our natural resources.
Thank you. Dr. West?
This may sound very trivial in comparison to lead piping, which I agree, is we should have more of a sense of urgency of making sure that we take care of that. However, ward beautification, cleanliness. Our city, our ward is trashed. I watch people throw garbage out of their windows. This is something we have to stop. We have to take pride in our community and how our homes look. We need to make sure that we clean up the ward. It's just trash and dirt and litter everywhere.
That's interesting because I was just getting ready to go to this, so I'm going to come back to you, and we'll start with you, and we'll come back this way. What would you do to make sure that the wards are cleaned and potholes are repaired? In essence, making sure that the streets and streets and sanitation city services are utilized in your ward to make sure that you have the most beautiful ward in the city.
Absolutely. Ward beautification. Pride in our homes, whether you are an owner or a renter. You need to make sure that you are vested in what your community looks like. I would impose upon the people to have an all hands on deck. This is something that not only streets and sanitation should address, but as well the people. All hands on deck. People have got to be more conscious of keeping their community clean, and I would make sure that we have the trash cans. I would make sure streets and sanitation picks up, and make sure that people have tools, the pickup sticks.
Thank you. All right, thank you for your call. All right, 30 seconds. Go ahead, Ebony.
So the alderman gets $1.5 million every year for streets and sanitation-related issues. I want to make sure that we are implementing participatory budgeting so that the residents have an opportunity to submit the projects to the aldermanic office. We can follow up and prioritize those projects in a transparent manner. And also making sure that we're planning for all of the lakefront activities throughout the year so that those companies that are coming in to do private events, that they're paying for the cleanup of those so that we don't use city dollars and our tax dollars to pay for private events.
So I have to let me just interject here. As a former chief of staff, right, I feel a certain way when everybody talks about that $1.5 million, right? Because there are, $1.5 million. If you think about it, takes $110,000, and that was when I was back in 2007 to pave a street. When you want a new street light, it's $70,000. That's 10 projects that happen over the course of the year. So I do want to just make sure that we level set for our people, because I heard the mayor say that the reason that the people in Wadsworth were upset was because they didn't use their menu money to fix the roads around the area. So I just want to make sure that we don't mislead people in that space, right? I do think that you can. I'm okay with the participatory budgeting process, et cetera. But be clear to people that if I show you 1.5 million in menu dollars, and it costs $110,000 to pave a street, and there are 30 miles of streets in every ward, and it's really 100 miles of streets in every ward, it would take you essentially 10 years. That's not if you did anything. That would take you like 50 years to do it if it wasn't. So I just want to make sure I put that up there, but I do appreciate that. Go ahead.
We have to make sure that we prioritize those dollars because some areas are worse than others, and we need a transparent process. And we have not had a transparent process in the 4th Ward, unfortunately.
Okay, I can accept that. Go ahead, Mr. Humphreys.
Yeah, I too agree with the participatory governance, including budgeting, but the piece around transparency is I'm okay with my street not getting paved if I can see it in the queue, right? So if I can, so that's planning beyond the year. If you can see a year ahead, 2 years ahead, even the entire
But what if it's 20 years ahead? Because, I mean, when you're doing a sidewalk, right? The sidewalk list comes out, and the list is, you own that mug, but I'm here to tell you, you coming in 2025 or 2028. Right. So, again, just the realities of what perception is, because $1 million seems like a lot of money to people until you got a $70,000 street light. But go ahead and $100,000 traffic study.
I appreciate that. Right now, I don't even know where I fall in the queue. Okay. Right? So when I got my alley light fixed six months later, I'm like, where was this? How was this? So anyway, that's one. The other piece is trash cans, definitely. We can look at our corridors. We can look at getting support there, like how we have Clean Slate currently. Clean Slate comes out 3 days a week on 47th Street. We should be able to do that on Cottage and some of these other business corridors. But we got to also get our young people engaged. We have to have service days beyond the cleaning greens to get high schoolers out to clean the area, because there is an issue around some of the behaviors where we're throwing trash out the cars.
Thank you. Prentice.
So let's get into it. Streets and sanitation right now is understaffed. I think they need to have more seasonal employees and black vendors to be involved in the process to cut the lots. And also, let's get to another important point, shoveling the lots that are owned by the city. We hold everyone else accountable about shoveling their lots, but we don't have enough resources of our own to shovel the city's lots. And there's no reason we can't have youth employees doing this, have black landscaper companies employed by the city to do the work. We need to get more resources from the city to make sure those things are possible.
Thank you. Tracy Bay.
The menu money is not enough, period, point blank. One, and the ward is nasty. It is. I walk my dog down Drexel every day. The garbage cans remain full. We were out in front of early voting this past week. There's a garbage can across the street. It has been full the whole week. We need the proper staff to ensure that the ward is getting cleaned as it needs to be. We can hire, the city should be able to hire other services to be able to do what it's not available to do. At ECCSC, we teach our youth civic engagement by making them clean up the blocks and the streets. This gives them a sense of pride.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. Let's go to, I'm going to go to police officers real quick. How many police, I'll start with you, Tracy. How many police officers do we have in the 4th Ward? What is the racial break? Do you have a sense of the racial breakdown? And what do we need more police? And this could be 30 seconds. And I wouldn't expect, what's
breakdown of police is in the ward. Do we have enough police? Right now, I feel like we don't have enough police in the proper places, but in some cases, I feel like we are totally over-policed. Again, I have video, actually, of some police officers that currently in the ward are 2 instances where the same group of police officers have gone through people's cars, ransacking the cars, and they took a lady's car the other day. Police are problematic. They are not responsible as they should be to the community and how they engage with us in our communities. They are very disrespectful.
Thank you. Caller, hold on. We're going to take your call after we get through this round of questions. Prentice, give me 15 seconds. 15 seconds, guys, on this.
Not a problem. We don't have enough officers in the community. When they consolidated the police districts back in 2012, we went from having over 500 officers in the combined district, 2nd and 21st district. We don't have that now.
Okay. Kari?
So what I know is we have a shortage of police. We have cars that only have one officer at a time, so that impacts how they respond. We're in the bottom 25% of call with our call time across the city. So we're in our ward, we are in the bottom 25%. So we just need something to change.
Ebony, more police.
Yes. So you want us to keep it at 15 seconds. I don't want to be repetitive, but I don't know the number of police, but I think it's important that the aldermen have a strong relationship with the police commander so that we make sure that we do have the sufficient number of officers, because I've been told by our beat officer that we don't have the adequate number of officers in the 2nd District or the adequate number of cars.
Thank you. Dr. West.
Ditto. I don't know how many police officers we have in the 4th Ward. However, I do believe that there is a shortage of the number of police officers and that more are needed. And as alderperson, I would advocate in working with the beat officers, with the district, to make sure that the resources that we need are increased.
All right, we're going to go to the live line. We have a live call. Caller, you are on the Mays Jackson Show. This is the candidate's last chance debate. You are live on the air. What's up, caller? How you feeling this morning? Who you are and where you coming from?
I'm feeling wonderful. I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to call. I'm in Middletown, New York. I'm the truck driver over the road.
New York City?
New York, upstate, as they say. But, my home is the 20th Ward, which I see with the remapping is at 60th and Cottage. Woodlawn, TWO, Woodlawn Organization, and all like that. So I have a history. My dad, he retired from PTA after 40 years. And so I had 2 questions, and one you kind of answered. But the last one that you kind of segued to, and this is what I have a question about for the candidate. Does anyone, or do any of you know of Professor Pat Hill and her work that she did, founding the Afro-American Patrolmen's organization and/or Renault Robinson, and how can that model or that mindset to tap someone with that idea from the current officers in the police department and/or cultivating one? Again, Pat Hill, Professor Pat Hill, she's gone on now with the Grandcestors, but if you know of her, and if you know of, I think she was part of Mayor Harold Washington's detail.
I got you, caller. So thank you. Let me stop you right there because I want to get to it. So if you all recall Pat Hill, he called it Dr. Pat Hill, but Pat Hill was the police officer and as well as Renault Robinson, and they had the African American Patrolmen's League, and basically, essentially, they worked together to get black police officers to band together to fight racism in the party. I don't know that is a question that I can get. I don't know that that's a question to solve it. Hey, man. Hey, bro. Go back. You can't sit right here. Move back. You don't just walk in and just... Man, family, hold on, fam. After you be disrespecting my wife? Hey, bro. Hey, y'all. Hey. All right, y'all. This is the Mays Jackson Show. Hey, fam. Don't come in here interrupting our joint. And you really not really supposed to be in here. I'm sitting here for a second. I'm gonna be done in a second. You lucky I got a debate going on. Hey man, you can't be disrespecting my wife and then coming up in her joint. It just don't work that way. So when I get up, I'm gonna be dealing with that. Anyway, fam. All right. I'm just say this one real quick time. You don't come in my building. You don't disrespect my wife on Thursday and then think you can come walk up in my joint today. Bye. No, that's our problem. We accept BS and then anyway. So let me get back to my debate. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Let me back up. If you were to receive a $1 million grant, you could pick one project that you could put it on in the 4th Ward, what would it be? I'm going to start with you.
an educator, I have a passion for educating our youth. My program would be a youth development program in the STEM and vocational skills, robotics, drone pilot licensing, 3D printing, all of the types of technologies and the STEM disciplines that I know that our students would be engaged with.
Thank you. Ebony.
I'm passionate about housing security and making sure that our seniors are safe in their houses and that they don't lose them. So I would spend that $1 million to help people to pay back property taxes and to help people to sustain wealth within their families.
Thank you. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Okay. As you said, $1 million isn't as much as we think. So what I would do with it is right now we have 2 sustainable community schools in the ward. I would expand that by 2 more for 2 years, which would ultimately allow for these buildings to be open later, like for a teen center for young people in the area.
I'd like to use $1 million to offer grants to small businesses in the community so they can have startup fees they needed to get started on the corridor.
Tracy Bay.
I would use it for youth. And $1 million doesn't go as far as people think it does. It really doesn't. And Dr. West, some of those programs you're talking about, we have at ECCSC, and we could use that $1 million.
That's good. So let me go here now. So now is the chance where we are going to give every candidate on here the opportunity to ask one person one question. So you can pick any candidate on the forum. You can pick any candidate on the dais, and you have one question. You can only pick one person, one question. I am going to start. So I done been to the ends. We're going to start with the middle. Kahari. One question, one person. You got, yeah.
I would ask.
Can you tell I was an instigator back in the
Man,
day?
I remember you back then.
That's old Mace.
Right. So I would just ask Mr. Butler, how would he deal with his connection with the office and what hasn't worked in the ward, and specifically the time where he was with Will Burns, where we had the highest amount of school closings, the closing of an actual police department and merging, just how would he rectify that in this next piece?
Ari, thank you for asking that question. I can tell you, I know what works and what doesn't work. And during that time with Will, back in those days, frankly, he was not good with people. He was a policy wonk. He was smart and intelligent. But in terms of having a heart for the community, that's what you need to have for this kind of job. I learned what didn't work, and it's empathy for others. I've learned a lot from Alderman King that she's been a little bit more empathetic, a lot more empathetic, and open to conversation, even disputes. I saw how those conversations were back in the time of school closings where some people were not approachable. So I learned from 2 administrations what not to do and what to do. And now I'm going to put my own spin to it if I'm elected in this position.
All right. We are going to go to Prentice. Prentice, you have one person, one question.
This is going to be a question about tenacity, right?
To who?
To Ms. Lucas.
Okay.
Ms. Lucas has shown the fortitude and tenacity to run for office 3 times. I just wanted to ask Ms. Lucas, what motivates you, inspires? Because this is a thankless kind of campaign. You go through it, your family's under scrutiny, everything's under scrutiny. So what motivates you to endure and keep going, fighting for the people?
Oh.
What motivates me is I love the 4th Ward. I love, my husband and I have thought about moving other places, and we're like, well, where can we get the lake and the city in the same place? Where can we walk to the beach? So we love our community. We want our kids, we have 3 kids in college right now, when they graduate, to come back to this community. So I want to make it better. I want to build the businesses here. I want to make sure that they have opportunities to have businesses here. I want to make sure that they have opportunity to purchase homes in the community. I really want to have my family close together, but as it is right now, with not having the schools with the resources that we need and not having the businesses and the restaurants and those types of things that we need, it's difficult.
I need to close.
Okay. It's difficult to think about them staying there because we don't have the things we need in the community.
Thank you. Tracy Bay. No question for nobody.
You know what, Maze is? This is Petty Maze. And
why is this Petty Maze? You see how nicely Prentice asked this question?
Yeah, but you know
he
what?
was like,
but it's like this, Maze. You labeled this a debate. That's number one. You didn't call it a forum. You called it a debate.
I'm okay with that.
And I am too. And yet, Maze, I don't want to go there. I could, but I don't want to go there. So I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I don't want to ask any questions because let's just keep it and let the voters do their research. Let's let the voters look to investigate for themselves who people are, the truth of what's true, what's not. And so I don't have any questions for anybody.
So, Tracy, I will say this, and part of the reason that we, because we know the voters don't do the research.
They
right?
don't.
The voters really rely on sound bites. They rely on quick hits. And so essentially the whole reason we go 2 hours is to try to make sure. I'm 100% okay with you not giving a thing.
I know that. And so you know what? There was a question. We were at a forum the other day and we were asked a question.
Okay.
And it was hard for me to answer. The question we were asked was, what do you find, what are you not prepared for in this race, right?
Oh.
And I couldn't answer that question because I didn't want to give what I really wanted to say. And so I just kind of passed on the question. Okay. And what I really wanted to say kind of leads to where my questioning would go, Maze, which is there is a level of deceit, evilness, lies, and fake news in this particular race that is so awful for me, right? So if I lend myself to get into that, then it will go places. Here, even at this table, Maze, let's be clear. It's not just with the candidate that's not present, okay? So, again, Maze, for me,
okay,
I don't want to become Petty Tracy.
Okay.
So I want, again, people, if you're listening, do your research. Do your homework. There's enough information for you to find out.
All right. So that's Tracy. Dr. West, do you have one person, one question? Uh-oh. She's sizing y'all up. Now, y'all be thinking about who y'all want to ask the question to. Y'all got... Go ahead.
I think I'll...
Give her the mic.
I'll ask...
Give her the mic, please.
The person who has no question. Tracy? But this is a good one. If you were to win the election as alderman, how would you utilize the resources right here at this table, all of us whom are, attempting to become the alderman, and I think all of us have some skill sets that I think would benefit the 4th Ward and the city. How would you utilize the resources here at this table?
I would utilize all the resources that are for good at this table. I think that as each of us have lived our lives and done what we've done, and Prentice has been steadfast to the 4th Ward. He has. He comes from Will Burns' office. I dealt with Prentice then, still work with Prentice now, and Prentice has a wealth of knowledge to give to having experienced many things under 2 administrations in the 4th Ward. Kari has been very active in the ward in different parts. He can be a coalition builder. He can absolutely help with, what it looks like to connect certain parts of the ward. I believe that through his organizational ties. Dr. West is an educator. That is a big, huge piece that is missing as our schools are underserved, underpopulated. Presently, we have a lot of issues within our schools that we need to correct. Ebony's attorney, we can find use for what, attorneys do and all of that. And so working with people, in the best capacity of their experience is what I would absolutely look to do.
Okay, thank you, Tracy. And final question, final person you get to ask a question. Ebony Lucas, you got one person, one question. Who you asking?
Question is for Kahari, who has two of the biggest endorsements in our race of the people that are here from CTU and United Working Families. And if you do not make the runoff, how will you use your resources and relationships in your race to assist whatever candidate makes the race runoff?
So this is an opportunity for me to acknowledge my wife, who is a teacher. And so I appreciate, and she's a teacher of over 20 years. And so I appreciate the endorsement from CTU, and I've been a strong advocate of education. I can't even fathom not making the runoff. So I don't even want to, manifest that thought. But what I've done and always will do is use every resource in my reach for the benefit of my neighborhood. I do it professionally as a nonprofit leader. I've done it as a volunteer, and I'll continue to do that no matter what happens on the 28th.
All right, yes or no questions. Real quick, we're going to get you all up out of here. I'm going to start with Tracy Bay. Mayor Lightfoot, has she done a good job or not?
Oh, jeez. Done a good job with what?
Overall. It's a yes or no question.
But it's not a yes or no answer. No, but just let me just say real quick. Okay. She is dealing with problems that she didn't make. That I couldn't imagine that was easy. She had to govern through COVID, a huge pandemic. Could she be better and nicer? I've had engagement with her. Absolutely. Has she done a good job? I think she's been very condescending. I think personality versus, see,
you got yes or no.
Okay.
Look,
she done a good job.
yes, no, maybe. Maybe you can take the maybe.
Do better.
Okay. Prentice.
She can do better.
Okay, see how y'all did that? Look, here you go.
Maybe.
Huh? You said maybe. Look, he depend on who wanted to run off. Go ahead.
I think that there are things that she has done a good job on. I think Invest Southwest has seen more Black contractors receive grants from the city for projects than under any other administration. I think in the building relationships and coalitions, she probably could do better. Not probably, she can. But I think that we all have our upsides and our downsides. The fact of the matter is we have a city council of 50 people, and she's never lost a vote in city council.
No mayor has, though, since we've been alive, really. And she actually did lose a vote. Let's back up. She lost a couple. She made some history, but okay.
But, the important thing is that we have this aldermanic race where we have 19 new aldermen that are coming in. And we need, no matter who the mayor is, people that are willing to speak up, people that are willing to be community-minded and take the interests of the community and help whoever the mayor is make the best decisions for our communities.
Okay. Dr. West.
Yes, no, or maybe. I'm going to say maybe. I do believe that there's always room for improvement. There's always, where we can do better. And given, as Tracy said, she, had to lead during a pandemic. And I am sure that caused some additional stress, to the job itself. So I'm just going to say maybe. And, there's always room for improvement.
All right. I am going to wrap this up. We got one question, and then I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to close. This year, we saw the once in every 10-year process of the ward remap. And throughout that process, it was very contentious between particularly the Black and Latino community. My question is, is there a political competition for resources between the Black and Latino community in Chicago, and how do we manage it? I am going to start, I'll start with you, Prentice, and then we're going to go this way, and we'll will leave you the last one, Tracy.
Unfortunately, I believe there is friction between the black community and brown community in Chicago. We don't have an understanding about shared dreams, shared problems. We need to get to a conversation about how can we work together. But right now, there's definitely is tension in a relationship.
Okay, thank you.
Despite the fact that there is a lot of black-brown coalition building and connection, there is political tension, is based upon the question. But I think that ultimately, for me, what's most important is with that remapping, the community has to be involved in it. The community has to be involved in decisions that are made, and so it can't be made by powerful politicians. It have to be made by. That's the whole piece around political governance means that folks should understand why they're in the 20th ward and not the 4th ward. Now, it could be because they were at the table at some point giving some information, giving feedback to that elected official. So that's my piece.
Ebony.
So there's definitely a tension and a competition. But the problem is, again, I think it's around naming. And we haven't had people at the table that have been willing to say, Black descendants of slavery have needs, and those needs are different than any other community. We are not minorities. We cannot be lumped into a group with other people because our experience is different. Our needs are different. Our history is different. So what our needs are, I don't want to compare what we need to what they need. I don't want to compare what resources and say, don't give them resources, give us resources. I want to say, this is what we need and be a voice for what we need, and to say these are the resources we need, focus on that as opposed to focusing on what other communities are getting or not getting.
Dr. West?
There clearly is some disparity and differences between the Black and brown community. And I think in terms of allocating needs or meeting the needs and allocating resources, we have to look at equity. And equity does not mean equal. So when you make that differentiation between equity and equal, the needs in one area may be much greater than the needs. It doesn't mean I get 5 and you get 5. It boils down to I need 10 and maybe you get 3, and that could be equity. It doesn't have to be equal. So I think we just have to come to an agreement on how resources how they should be allocated so that there is less dissension and people are getting their needs met.
Thank you. Tracy, I'll let you close on this one.
The ward remapping was one of the greatest examples played out before us of division, exclusion, and invasion maze. Why don't we just simply get repair first as damage happened to us as Black people first? We have been here without being steadfast and yet resilient with nothing. Why don't we just get some repair first before we've got to include everybody else? We need repair first without having to include anybody else in what that looks like first. Not to exclude anybody, but just first.
Well, that actually you include. I said I was last question, but I got one more, and then this is literally yes or no, and then I'm gonna ask you to go give us a close, and we'll start with you, Dr. West. But just straight down the line, yes or no? No, yes, no, not even a maybe. Do you support monetary reparations for descendants of American slavery?
Yes.
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 See how easy that was? All right. Now, with that in mind, I know we said 1 hour, but I got to tell you, I think this is important. I think it was very informative for people that are tuned in because we don't necessarily always get to a lot of the points. We're going to start with you, Dr. West. I'm going to ask everybody to give me 1 minute elevator speech as to why they should vote for you, why they should vote for you.
Dr. Helen West, Punch 51. I am the candidate with the most leadership experience. I have the educational background. I am committed to the people of the 4th Ward. I will make sure that your voices are heard in every room, at every table. I am going to insist that we say no to the status quo. I will speak truth to power, and I will denounce any opportunity for any Democratic machine to silence your voices. I will make sure your voices are heard.
Ebony Lucas.
Before I do that, I do want to make sure that I also recognize my husband and my family that have been amazing in this process and extremely patient and just supportive. So I appreciate that and want to make sure I say it because I think husbands always thank their wives and wives don't do it enough for our husbands. So I want to make sure I do that. Now, that said, I mentioned how much I love the community. I mentioned my background and a lot of the work and my beliefs. But most importantly, I'm unbought and unbossed. I'm able to show up for the Fourth Ward residents in the way that I have in the last 18 years. I've worked with everyone up here, and we are the people really who have been in the community working. The other candidate who is not here has been in the ward for less than 6 months. We need to make sure that we have people who know our community, who understand the needs of our community, who are willing to show up for our community in the way that we need to show up, and who will speak up for us in the way that we need them to speak up. I am that person. I am trained. I have the experience. I have the knowledge. I have the desire and the love for it. So that is why I should be elected as Fourth Ward Alderman. Thank you.
Okay. Kari?
Yeah, this is a critical transition moment, and transition moments could be great, but they can also be detrimental. And we don't need status quo, disconnected, non-participatory government that is led by the interests of perceived powerful elected officials, perceived powerful politicians. I've been a dedicated leader and volunteer for over 25 years, raising my family in the ward. I've been consistently co-creating to improve schools, parks, and housing for seniors. My work has been consistent and not driven by ambition or career advancement and special interest, but a sincere desire to be a vessel of change for my community. And so I need people on or before February 28th to punch 54 so you can get more, but then also so that you don't vote for the Democratic machine telling you who to vote for. Exercise your power and vote for 54.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off by saying, one, I think Ebony's right. We got to thank our significant others. I want to make sure I thank my lady Evelyn to make sure she knows I appreciate her standing by my side through this process. It's been long. But let me say this. I'm in this race because I care about my community. I care about my black community. I care about those that raised me, that poured into me. I want to give back to the community. For the last 12 years, I've been working to advocate issues that impact our community, listen to community members, and try to build coalitions to get things done. And just as my other colleagues have alluded to, we're facing a transitional moment here in the city of Chicago. I want to make sure people understand that your voice is at stake right now. There is an attempt to buy your vote, to silence your vote, and we want to make sure we are advocating for you. I'm accountable and responsible to you, not special interests, not other people behind the scenes. I'm pledged to represent the community, the entire community, and I want to make sure your voice matters. Do not let the shiny stuff out there you see, the mailers fool you about who is qualified. I'm ready day one to represent you. Punch 57.
And Miss Tracy Bay.
Mays, I too have to thank my significant other who's sitting here, who has been supportive, he gets up with me because, Mays, you made the show early. Thank you. Came in a little sleepy, but we are here. We're making it through. Tyrone Muhammad, thank you. And to everybody who has stood with me, my team, my parents. Man, I love my parents. And my whole team. Thank you, truly. Mays, this is a job about service. Service to the community, right? I come from a lifelong family of service with my parents who were federal executives, now past and first lady, public servants. I work at an organization, nonprofit, where we call ourselves community servants because we show up. This is a job about service and what that looks like. As a lifelong Fourth Ward resident, I know what we come from to where we are now. I know what worked. I know I've seen through where we are now, and it doesn't work in the bestest way. The Fourth Ward was a great independent ward. We lost that. That is gone because our voice is now being led by, as you said, the most powerful person in the Democratic Party, right? That's problematic for us. That should be problematic for everybody in this ward. A vote for Tracy Bay is a vote to lead the Fourth Ward with your voice. First and foremost, punch 52.
Hey, y'all. I must tell you, first of all, to all of the candidates, for our studio audience, give all of the candidates a round of applause, please. I like how you enhanced that, Riis. I was like, dang, it's a lot of, where all the people come from? I was like, good Lord, that's a lot of, let me just say that, first of all, we as What's in It for the Black People Media, What's in It for the Black People, the political organization, and the Black People First Party, I want to thank you all for taking time out today. There are a lot of people who will run from the opportunity to speak directly to their people. That's the real thing. Please understand that there are forces that say that you should not come here, that you should not be able to speak on the issues that impact your people directly. And so I think it speaks volumes to our viewers and our listeners that you showed up and that you were willing to willing to answer the questions as directly as I've heard them answered. I will one more time tell y'all, right? And I just got to keep reiterating this. We have been conditioned to be community and to talk about everything but our self-interest. And it's because, again, we, in our nature as Black folks, we want to be inclusive. We don't want to leave people out. And then it has been weaponized against us, right? And so even as you talk about issues, as you talk about things, people, places, and things, our people want to know that you are in it for the Black people. That does not exclude anybody else. Somebody said that today. I think that was you, Ebony, that said you don't have to exclude anything. But we are adamant about Black elected officials that represent in Black areas being able to answer the question, what's in it for the Black people? Part of your answer was being here today, participating in answering these questions honestly and openly. I must tell you that this is one of the most congenial groups that I've ever seen in a debate. I know that there's oftentimes in campaigns things that are said, things that are done, but I must tell you that I've truly enjoyed the engagement between everyone, and I think that the Fourth Ward will be served well regardless. And I know that you all are going to hold people accountable regardless in being active in your wards. Now, I would be remiss if I did not encourage you all to join us here on the second Saturdays of the month where the What's in It for the Black People First political organization, where we meet here every second Saturday to create what will be one of Chicago's most powerful political organizations. Also want to encourage you to tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Or if you are one of our church-going listeners, then please listen to 1570 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 a.m. This has been the last chance candidate debate. Tracy, I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to make sure tomorrow they mix it up some more because you look like you was like, you said a debate. And I really do feel like I want you all to have a competition of ideas. But what I would honestly tell you is, it seems like you all are so much in alignment as to what you want for your community. There may be nuanced differences and there may be personality differences, but I think even as we look at this conversation, there's nobody here that doesn't believe that you all want to do the best for your community, right? Let me say what's up to all of my What's in It for the Black People BP1 family that is here today. Got to say big shout out to my man Big Swill, who is here early. He has TP across the way, so y'all go check him out as well. We got Tyrone Muhammad from ECCSC. I got my beautiful and lovely wife, President Carrie K. Steele. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have the heat on, right? I promise I paid the bill. I promise. You know, I came in here the other day and I was like, did I pay the bill? You know how you be like, wait a minute. And now with the Lahey program, I was like, I got money to pay the bill now, because you know I used to wait till like 3, but now with the 3 consecutive days, it ain't been 3 frozen consecutive days, so it's a lot of heat off. I can't do the show without my man DJ Riis, the rule on the ones and twos, and everybody that is here today. I just want to tell y'all, thank y'all. Look, I see I got a candidate for 20th Ward. Look, 20th Ward Alderman in the building. Andre Smith in the building. Him and Tyrone, they must have got bailed out, right? They got bailed out for fighting on the front lines. Yeah, we got some real issues that are facing our community. Listen to me, that are facing black people specifically, right? There's the community at whole, but there are black issues specifically. Today was about the black issue specifically. You can talk to everybody else. We're not excluding anybody, but some days black folks got to have a safe place to talk to each other. So with that in mind, Riis, I think we got everything. So for Mays and Riis, and for What's in It for the Black People, What's in It for the Black People Media, and for Black People First, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Mays said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really